check to make sure everything's working. I'm your host, Patrick Marlett, your local game guy with a local game host, Will. Hey, Will.
What's up?
Dude, not much. It's early. Thanks if you're coming in at 8 a.m. to join us for finally Infect, but this is something we got really hyped about and maybe continued our cloud stream for another 20 minutes just on. Because we all realize that there's something really special about how she's worded, and I mean in multiple ways. But we'll jump into that in a second. I'm great. Happy Pokemon Day to everyone, which was yesterday, I think. I don't know if you're following any of that. You don't have to. It's been fun to watch though. I'm impressed by how many games they run competitively at this event, and the Game Freak Pokemon Company, there's so many properties behind their name, so it only makes sense. But maybe one day we'll get Pokemon and Magic, and everything will just implode on itself. So, these two TCGs, they can't mix, right? Imagine if Pokemon did jump into Magic, because Loot would just got lost in the mix. No one would care. They're like, shit, Pikachu.
Is that a shiny Pikachu?
Yeah, is that it's like a hideous version? Is that like what an Alolan Pikachu actually looks like on a bad day?
Raichu looks different than I remember.
Yeah, right. He forgets to shave. He just looks a mess. But we're not really here for that property. We're here for Final Fantasy. So I've played the original Final Fantasy Online, as I was saying to Will. I did like a Samurai Hunter mix. I also fooled with Monk. But I used to farm for gear and sell it. And I think one of the Leaping Lizzie, one of the first monsters you can farm, I never got those damn boots from Lizzie. So I stopped that pretty quick. At any rate, I never played this online version of the game, and that's where Y'shtola comes from. So if I'm pronouncing that wrong, you can correct me. But it's Cat Warlock that you might have heard of from the Commander decks that were recently spoiled from this set. So we want to jump on, I think this is one of the face commanders, right? Yeah, she's one of the face commanders. So we want to jump on these new legendaries, to get ahead of our ultimate tier list, and we're going to be building this within the bracket system. So if you haven't caught up with that, you can watch our previous stream talking about the bracket system. And of course, hundreds of creators, as well as Watsy, has talked about it. But the way we see it, I think she's cEDH playable. And
you can build this bracket 5.
Right. So, and we say that, obviously your deck editor is going to have a different opinion because they tend to rank these automatically. We're over on Tapped Out, and you select what tier you want it in. For me, I think player skill, deck composition, strategy are all going to apply to what bracket it actually falls in. So I think she's between B4 and B5, which is what we want to brew for. First, good morning. Thank you. Good morning. 27 Noetic. Good morning to you. While we're talking about it, we might as well have her on screen. It's important to note that as we're building, because these cards are relatively new, we're going to have to use a placeholder for them. So we're using Aminatu in our actual deck, but we can jump into this. We spoke on this again last night, but if you weren't the other night, if you weren't with us for Cloud, watch that. It's fine. Maybe this will encourage you to just buy Y'shtola's box. Who am I kidding? Cloud's probably going to be the #1 selling Precon commander. But Y'shtola Knight's Blessed for 1 generic and Esper, legendary creature Cat Warlock, 2/4 body, vigilance. Relevant? Yeah. At the beginning of each, it's cool.
Considering the text, it's a little bit relevant. The very next part.
Yeah, that's true. At the beginning of each end step, if a player lost 4 or more life this turn, you draw a card. So, does this trigger for multiple players, Will?
It is only one. It just checks that a player lost life.
Okay, so we should get to doing that pretty efficiently. And what's cool about this is it's not tracking your opponent's life, it's tracking everyone's life. So if you have something that, say, requires you to pay life, and you can do it on everyone's turn, then you're guaranteed to draw a card, right? So if we're looking at life as a resource here, if we have some decent effect that cost 1, 2 life to repeat, or even say 4 life to repeat, We just do that the one time or however many multiple times, get the benefit, and then draw a card. I think that this could even be just filtering for us. Like if we just need color fixing, it could just be a filter card. It could be a number of things, but there should be, like with any deck, a handful of flex spots. So we'll find some utility to go into that first thing. But that's really not exactly why we're looking at her, though it is a good effect. It's the bottom effect. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell with mana value 3 or greater, Y'shtola deals 2 damage to each opponent, and you gain 2 life. So, hey, you're mitigating all that damage you're taking, if you elect to go that route. Or there are synergies for life gain, right? That's cool. Wait, Y'shtola deals 2 damage to each opponent. She's doing the damage? I don't know, Will, what sounds... what sounds good with that?
Well, I mean, I can think of 2 very key effects that work very well with the dealing damage, you know, like Curiosity or Infect.
Yeah, so we are electing to take this that route. And I do think that those are good finishers for the deck, right? So Will is referring to Curiosity as Ophidian Eyes and Tandem Lookout, right? So right now, again, Aminatu is in the CZ, but she's just our stand-in. The effects we're really going to be relying on today are 6. So right, we have like good amount of redundancy. Typically, I'm happy if my game plan has 2 play options and we have 3 for each. So that's we're batting, you know, well above average here. So Curiosity, obviously, whenever enchanted creature deals damage to an opponent, you may draw a card. Oh my god, the draw. Unreal. Way better than the top effect, but we're going to take that draw as well because we want to literally just use her value engine because she's just a pure value engine that dealing damage and getting life. It's literally my 3 favorite things. I'm punishing my opponents, I'm putting myself above them, and I'm drawing cards. Drawing cards, easily my favorite part of this. But the other element to this deck and why we're storming and what we're trying to build towards is Infect. This doesn't have reminder text on it, but if you haven't played with Infect, that's okay. Basically, damage this creature does, this is combat damage, this is non-combat damage, applies the damage by way of poison counters. So if you don't know the ruling, if you have 10 or more poison counters, you're dead. You're just dead. So this is way better than trying to reach for commander damage with this vigilance creature. We're really just trying to cast 5 spells of 3 or more, and we're good, right? So that is the general game plan. And we have Glistening Oil, we have Pyresis, and we have Tainted Strike, which is arguably the best one. So what's really nice is we can do, you know, if you read her correctly, this bottom effect is not limited to once per turn, and it doesn't care when you do this. So if someone's trying to go off and there's a counter war happening, maybe you can lend your hand, help out a little bit. Once the dust is settled, cast your Silence on top, just to ensure, and then just go off with your Tainted Strike and just murk people, right? Because all it's really going to amount to is you casting enough free spells and or things that give you mana in return, like Frantic Searches, things of that nature, to damage out your opponents or in fact infect your opponents out of the game. And you could do that at instant speed. Obviously, you know, we're an Esper, so we're probably going to want to include, say it with me, Thassa's Oracle and the DC in Tainted Pack line. And that's fine. I think we need a backup. But really, her game plan is pretty simple. Like, we're just destroying shit, controlling the game, and casting high-cost free spells to win. At instant speed in most instances, right? You could drop the Glistening Oil and not go off, but I do think that is a huge red flag for everyone else. Any other thoughts? I mean, I don't know. I hope I summarized it well.
Game plan is to break their Nico kneecaps.
Fact.
Anime cat girl had to make the joke. But yeah, Y'shtola is just going to be a decent Esper control commander because you have the Curiosity control line. You can also just sit there and cast counter spells to damage out people while drawing the occasional extra card. So if you cast 20 cards that cost 3 or more, you win the game. And funnily enough, there's around 20 cards that cost 3 or more that are free in the game that are actually worth running. So you can very easily just hard damage people out with Y'shtola for the win, but you usually don't need to. You'll usually hit Glistening Oil or something, or you'll storm off with Curiosity and get there. But yeah, Y'shtola is a house.
Yeah,
Y'shtola can do a lot.
yeah. I mean, it's kind of impressive that she's doing 2 damage to each opponent at once. Like it really helps that fact because it does help expedite the process. And again, if we're running with Infect, the number count is 5. If not, like Will was saying, we just need to cast 20 spells of 3 or greater that are non-creature, and there aren't going to be too many creatures in this build. Like, I guess we'll hit Esper Sentinel, which we don't care about, right? It's under 3. Thassa's Oracle, it's under 3. Like, most of the creatures you run in a cEDH setting are probably going to be under 3, unless it's like an opposition agent or something like that. Like, we'll still probably run the value creatures, the few value creatures you would. Like, I think an Orcish Bowmaster still makes sense, but those utilities are going to slot under this anyway, so the non-creature element, it really doesn't matter. Like, so we don't really feel like we're missing out because of that. I guess is what I'm saying. So like this just plays very well into a competitive setting. It's funny, and I definitely glazed over this when it first came out because I just normally how this effect works, it's not damage from the creature. So as soon as we figured that out,
Yeah, it's usually loss of life. This is damage. Two very different phrasings.
if you're dealing damage, infect damage, won't that not trigger her first ability? I think,
Correct. But
yeah,
I feel like winning the game is usually more important than drawing one
right.
extra card.
Yeah. Don't like pull the tainted strike until don't do that until you're trying to go for the win. But I mean, again, if you run any sort of life loss effects, you could just do that to yourself. I mean, you're really close. Imagine if it was just 3 damage. Like you could literally just fetch land, shock land, and then like get there and just draw a card for like fetching and shocking yourself. Sadly, that's not the case. But yeah, don't really rely on the infect effects until you're trying to go off. So technically, we have Storm with those 3 outs, or Thassa's Oracle, DC Tainted Pact, and I think we're good. And I think I'll probably just start by adding the cards that we just referred to. So Thassa's Oracle, DC, and Tainted Pact. But we can begin the build here, Will. I think our free spells are probably going to be the most important ones. Is there text?
There's rather pay and without paying.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I feel like you probably have the short list. I could look it up just because I want to show people, though.
Yeah, I can give you the whole list of them that are worth running. So there is Force of Will.
Yeah. Here, we'll take those in. If you just saw my Scryfall there, there is a thought of incorporating some cost reducers to ease the burden of storming off. I think cost reducers are going to be our best friend here. Maybe equally so with just ramp, but we'll get there when we get there. Sorry about
that. But
Force of Will.
Force of Negation.
Yeah.
Mind Break Trap.
Are these cards sounding familiar to you guys?
It's enough out. That might be one that people don't know.
It's so funny though, because it's like, I don't know, like Deadly Rollick, like, oh, I'm just gonna play a regular cEDH deck and just like benefit. Okay.
Yeah.
It feels kind of
Misdirect.
bullshitty. Misdirect, yeah. I like Misdirect a lot, actually.
Force of Despair is one that is just a good enough card.
How does that one read? I've actually never used the Force of Despair.
It is well, it's a force, so pitch a black spell and then destroy all creatures that entered this turn.
Oh, yeah, that's okay.
And it's 3 mana usually.
That's kind of cheeky against like I guess a Nagila or something. It's a good way to like stifle that shit.
Yep. Next would be Foil, because honestly, yeah, good enough.
Yeah, and if there's any free spells that we're not incorporating that you would want to include, holler.
Gush. Gush is another good one.
Gush is a really good one, actually. So this is one where you could return an island, I believe, and draw 2 cards. It's a storm
It's a
card.
return 2 islands, I believe.
2 islands instead of casting it? Okay.
Yeah.
But it's like 4 on the nose, right?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
it's a 5 mana to play, 2 to draw, to draw 2. 5 mana to play, draw 2, return 2 islands rather than pay the cost.
You can tell I haven't run Gush in a minute. Okay.
Next, here's the first one that we're probably not going to run, but I'm going to at least bring it up. It is Contagion. You pay a life and exile black spell from your hand to distribute 2 -2, -1 counters among up to 2 creatures.
It's the one with a cat on it, right?
Yeah, it's the one with the cat on it. Flavor-wise, we should run it, but we probably
Yeah.
don't run
No, it's honestly like it was a good card when it was printed.
Next,
It's not a bad card. I actually really like this mystery booster version. I didn't know that existed.
it's a pitch a black card to shock and lose a life, which in our case is not bad.
No, it's actually pretty
Um,
sick. Here, I want to look up this mystery booster one for you guys. Pay 1 life.
next, next is a card that you're very familiar with, Patrick. Abolish.
We can run Abolish. Yeah, Abolish is kind of sick. It's a white effect that lets you pitch up planes, and we should have a handful to cast it for free. In a deck that is 3 colors, maybe less so. We'll have to look at our count, but that's something you can plan for. But I've had plenty of games where I've just like I had a really good Abolish play against Godo once. I forget if we got this on camera or not, but like they were popping off. They get to the helm of the host, and I'm like, oh fuck me. I guess I'm gonna bail us out. I abolished the helm of the host. Oh, so nasty. Step out and submerge. I like submerge. I feel like we were probably getting there, but that's a good one for
Yeah,
sure.
we were going through the rather plays first, and I was going to go without paying second.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Keep it rolling, Will.
Yeah, disrupting Shawl, because fun fact, if you do exile a card from your hand, that does change the cost of the spell, so it will almost always be, or it will literally always be 4 or greater.
Disrupting Shoal.
Yeah. Shawl spelled SHAOL.
Yeah, I haven't played this one ever. Again, we're likely gonna have to put like stuff up on the chopping block, so we can consider a handful of these, but we do want to incorporate as many as possible. I'm just gonna add Frantic Search also while we're at it. It's a different type of the same thing.
Yeah. Unmask is probably the last rather pay, other than maybe Soul Spike, but I feel like Soul Spike is a lot of investment for very little, so I'm not going to actually recommend Soul Spike.
Not gonna lie, like I really do like the OG art for the Mercadian Mask version of Unmask. It's basically what's it called? What are those like? What are they called? The type of effect? Duress.
Yeah,
it's duress
effects.
Yeah. Okay.
Next, we have our without paying effects, which is Fierce Guardianship, Deadly Rollick, and Flawless Maneuver.
And why not Flawless Maneuver? Why not?
It's 2 damage off of our commander, and it protects our commander, so happy.
That's actually good enough. Is this the only deck that cares about Flawless Maneuver? This is the only cEDH deck that cares about Flawless Maneuver. What about Force of Despair? I think we did add that.
Yep, that's the blackboard wipe.
So is this all of our maybes and like definitely in the deck?
Submerge if you didn't add it.
No, Submerge is in there.
Yeah, and I believe that is it. I'm currently... Oh, sorry, Massacre.
Oh, yeah, Massacre's not bad. Massacre's good.
Yeah, I'm doing a quick scroll through. It's just that it's... the way that it goes is... If you do EDH rec rank for without paying spells, it's like Force, Fierce, Deadly Rollick, scroll, 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 Submerge, scroll, 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 next page, scroll, 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 bottom of the next page. Oh, look, Massacre. Apparently, like, Submerge and Massacre are night and day playability.
Massacre is an oldie and a goldie. Like, the Nemesis foils are so expensive, so not that it matters. But I remember, I forget what deck I was running, but it did care about having free spells as well, and I remember Massacre was one of the ones I picked up.
Oh, was it Smoke Toad?
Maybe. No, this is a while before that. I actually really like that guy. I genuinely like this cat. I this is like so my kind of strategy. Like this looks so fun to play. Like I'm very excited to play test this like soon, because this is gonna be so damn good. I in my heart of hearts, I know it's gonna be good. But 3 is a lot, and Will named off a bunch of really great free or alternative costed spells. But I do think it's worth maybe incorporating 1 to 2 level reducers on top of the fact.
Cost
So,
reducers.
God, dude, what am I? I'm sorry. I'm playing a One Piece tournament later, and I'm going to an event, and all I've been doing is practicing for that. So I'm sorry. I run a deck that only cares about levels, and levels are the same thing as mana in this game. So forgive me for replacing the two. I think I did that off camera earlier. But my deck is
That's the only reason I caught it.
yeah, it's literally just about level reduction, and it's a control deck. So I love playing control decks, dude. Like, and that shit gets me giddy. I woke up and I remember this. They were doing like the Pokemon tournament thing, and I like put on the first game, and it was like an amazing control match. I'm like, holy shit! All I want to do is build that deck now. At any rate, I haven't looked at these cards in a minute, so I kind of just want to take a quick second to look over some cost reducers, old and new, to see if there's anything that's super worth running. Like, we're not going to run things like Helm of Awakening, but I don't know, you mentioned, well, at least off camera, like Brawl is something we could consider. There is a new Thunderclapper that we can incorporate. I don't know, you want to reduce Kithkin spells, Will?
Uh, I personally, for cost reducers, I really do just think it's going to be Brawl in the Drake.
I mean, you don't want your medallions?
I
They're
mean, you
probably...
could run the medallions, but we're in 3-color, which is the reason why I don't like the
I mean,
medallions.
but like, if we just look at... This is going to be so specific, because obviously these medallions help reduce her cost by 1 every time, right? Regardless of the medallion we choose. But if we have just a range of white cards on average that aren't 3, or that aren't free, that are 3 and above, then like Pearl Medallion makes most sense. Or if it's blue, Sapphire Medallion. I don't disagree, though. We're probably going to just stick with those two. The newer one is from OTJ. It's right in front of us now. It's the Thunderclap Drake. We're really just into it for the bottom effect, but flying, instants, and sorceries cost 1 less to cast. That's great. I think as a cost reducer, that's fine. It's also something that can do 2 damage with Y'shtola, right? So remember, whenever a player loses 4 or more life, she can swing for 2, and she's vigilant, and then that thing's flying. So like, we could probably get in on someone. That's just a good way to make sure we get that. But it's a body as well, so it does mean it's more easily removed, but I think we're kind of fine with that. Sacrifice Thunderclap Drake when you cast this. It also will, I don't know how long we actually need to humor the idea, but spells that have as additional cost pay X life, like, might be something we want to consider, because it ultimately means that spell was a cantrip. Does that make sense? All right, so it's like I don't know. There's her ability to draw off of her own life loss is something that's kind of impressive. So I want to leverage that to whatever effect. I think Thunderclap Drake should go in. If there's any other cost reducers you guys want, let me know. It's Bloodchief Ascension.
Yes.
Bloodchief Ascension. Damn it. Okay, thank you. I was trying to find that card earlier. We were thinking it was a quest, but no.
No, I knew that it got quest counters.
Oh. Brawl, Chief of Compliance. And we got to go for the multiverse Kaladesh border. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Blood Chief Ascension Mind Crank is good. Just straight up Blood Chief Ascension is also good, because, being honest, you're burning them. You are burning them hard.
Right. Let me look that up right quick so we could just have it on screen to show you guys. If you don't know this older card, there's Helm of Awakening. Spells you cast of the chosen type cost 1 less to cast. Is that not good enough? Or would you rather just be instants and sorceries just down the line?
Instants and sorceries are usually better, because we're gonna have a good mix of both.
Yeah.
Also, I don't think we're gonna need too much cost reduction, because a lot of our things that cost we pretty much have our 3 and more pile completed with all of those free spells.
Right. I think the reason I want cost reduction is really just to help ease casting other things that will require mana that are neither instant nor sorcery. So let's look at Blood Chief's Ascension. I think we're pretty much done. I've come up, like, as we were strolling there. I was seeing older cards that I just immediately knew, so there was no reason to look over them any further. But Blood Chief Ascension for 1 black. At the beginning of each end step, an opponent lost 2 or more life this turn. You may put a quest counter on this. So this will track each individual opponent, right? Or is it going to just track the ones? If an opponent
So
lost... No,
if
it should track
an,
each.
an opponent, it's just the one.
If an opponent lost 2 or more life.
Yeah, it's end step trigger. Did somebody lose life? Okay, get a counter. It's not for each opponent trigger, trigger, trigger. It's just the one.
Do we want to run the Mind Crank line with Blood Chief Ascension?
I mean, we're running Blood Chief, so we might as well. It's just another semi-clean line.
Right, let me just pull this up. This only got, like, how many? Oh, there's a new printing. Oh, it's the same art. Whenever an opponent loses life, they mill that many cards. I mean, like, that's, yes, I do think that that could be a potential win for us, but it's important to note that a lot of decks actually do care about having shit in their trash, so, in their grave, I should say.
I'm also looking up all the 3-cost and more non-creature spells that we may want to run, and there's only a few, so I can go over those, and then we should be fine.
To just build out the rest of the list with further control magic and removal.
Yeah. It's a Rhystic Study, obviously. Toxic Deluge.
Rhystic Study seems playable.
Yeah, it just seems like a good card. Seems like I heard that it got put on a list. I don't know, something called like game adapters, game manipulators, something like that.
Game breakers, earth shatterers. Hey, Majra. And Ember, I put the card on screen, but we're building Y'shtola.
Let's see. Do we want Fabricate? I don't think we care about Fabricate.
Well, we're gonna find Mind Crank.
Yeah, but we're gonna play all the black tutors, so and also I don't think we're like looking for Mind Crank if I'm being completely honest.
Well, whoa. What about the One Ring?
Yeah, we can add the One Ring if you'd like.
And we lose life when we build up enough of a burden. Yo, that's the best life loss effect outside of Necropotence, I guess. You know,
and
so
we can potentially add Necropotence. I feel like we don't need Necropotence, but it's literally pay 4 on each player's turn to draw an extra card, so why not?
Yeah, this is like the epitome of a deck that can run Necropotence for value. Like, as a control deck. We're not jamming Peer into the Abyss, we're not jamming Ad Nauseam, mind you. Like, this is not, well, I guess we could still run PETA, but this is not a deck for Ad Naus, what with all the high costed shit we're trying to throw in here. And I like that. Like, it's fine that it's leveraging the cEDH mainstay, but
you know what I realized? We 100% could just pay like near 40 life into Necropotence and then just go, okay, strike, free spell, free spell, free spell, free spell, free spell, game.
Yeah, to just drop the Infect win.
Yeah.
Well, that's a cleaner, yeah, that's way cleaner than trying to do it through an Ad Naus.
Let's add Born Upon a Wind just to make that a little bit more consistent if we hit the auras.
No, I 100% love that idea. Yeah, I would rather just find enchantment. We need to look up our enchantment tutors after this. I don't think there's any good new ones, sadly.
Enlightened Tutor.
It's just really Enlightened Tutor, right? Like, well, I mean, there are other... Well, there's a 3-cost 1 Idyllic Tutor. Fuck it. No, I'm gonna add Idyllic Tutor.
I would not run Idyllic Tutor, and I would instead run the blue transmute thing that finds 3-drop. That's just better.
Wait. What's the transmuter called? Wait, I'm sorry. Let's go. Do we want Fabricate? Do we want Fabricate?
We don't. I don't think we want Fabricate, but the transmute one I think is called like Phantasmal something, Phantasmal Geist or.
It's Drift of Phantasms.
Yeah, there you go.
Does it put it onto the battlefield though? No.
Hand. It puts it to hand.
Drift of Phantasms.
If you're gonna pay 3 mana to tutor for something, I feel like tutoring for a 3-drop is better than tutoring for either Rhystic Study or Necropotence.
I like
or Glistening Oil stuff.
Glistening Oil, dude? Come on.
Yeah, but like all of those are on 3. Like Glistening Oil is the only one that's on 2, but the Phyresis is on 3. So it's like, well,
Pyresis is, I don't think Pyresis is on 3.
Is it not?
No. I think it's 2. It's 2.
Is glistening oil 3 then, or both of them 2?
Glistening oil is 1. Dude, Infect, the bar of entry is so low, dude. They're
Oh,
like, nah, Infect's not that good. Let's make glistening oil 1 and pyresis 2.
Glistening oil is 2. It's
Are they
black,
both?
black.
Okay, so they're both 2, regardless.
Okay.
So I mean,
Yeah.
okay, look, so yes, you can muddle the mixture then if you want to do that. You just, I'm not gonna run Drift of, you want to run Drift of Phantasms.
No. I would want to run Drift of Phantasms over Idyllic Tutor.
I get that. I do think that we have so much draw. So Ophidian Eyes too, right?
Ophidian Eyes, it's 3. I think it was. It's Tandem Lookout is 2. I think.
No, I think Tandem Lookout's 3. Ophidian Eye is 3 as well. Okay. I'm sorry. I don't know why we're struggling over tutors right now, because there aren't going to be many slots left in this deck, frankly. So, the relevant tutors are important. I am kind of screwing around with Idyllic Tutor. I do just want an excuse to run it, but
we nearly forgot literally the best 3 cost or more spell that we could run in this deck. Dismember.
Oh yeah.
Pay 4 life to kill a thing.
We need to
look life in 1 mana.
We definitely need to look into all of the Phyrexian cards. Any sort of Phyrexian tech that we're not considering, Will. Because we're definitely going to leverage all the Phyrexian spells that are good. Obviously, Dismember being the best, hands down.
Dismember is the only viable one that makes it.
That can't be true now. Like, didn't I didn't really look at Aftermath or like that set at all for the Phyrexian spells, but weren't there new Phyrexian spells we could?
There are Planeswalkers. I can't remember if we had non-Planeswalker spells with Phyrexian mana.
I sincerely thought that we drew a card for each player that lost 4 life. Bummer. No. Smothering Tithe? Will, Smothering Tithe, do we need that game changer?
It could probably be worth it. We can probably put in Smothering Tithe.
I feel like it might be first in the chopping block. It really depends, but we'll see.
It is a really good control tool just because we usually will be getting it's Gilded Lotus. It's a 4 mana Gilded Lotus with more upside most of the time.
Yeah, Snuff Out is in, and yes, the fetch triggers and shocks and any other sort of additional life loss is going to help us get us to 4 damage. So yeah, there's a ton of shit in our favor that is just in a cEDH deck. Time Twister, Snuff Out, not typically. Time Twister though, do we wheel in this? Ember, I don't know that we want to. Yes, it is a good card for storming off. But I do think that we're trying to rely on our curiosities to just like wheel through the deck. Do you want a Time Twister? Because it does give us our trash back. It's not like we're Yawgmoth willing here.
No, only because it's going to keep shuffling back in the cards that we're drawing, and we're going to be giving other people cards. This is one of those decks where we are out resourcing everybody else, so we don't want to give out resources.
And I'll save you some money too. Trouble in Pairs, Valley Floodcaller. Valley Floodcaller's
that's everything except for creatures has splash.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Because
Floodcaller's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, we already have the Born Upon a Wind. I don't know if we need 2 of these. This isn't bad though. Oh, does it affect cats?
No.
No, it doesn't. Okay. Valley Floodcaller. Let's see if we include it. I do think there are some other utility creatures that need to go in first. Tainted Strike is in for sure. So Tainted Strike, excuse me if I'm pronouncing this wrong. Phyresis, like Phyrexian, Phyresis, and Glistening Oil. Those are all in. Yeah, we can. Yes, obviously we'll incorporate Mystical Tutor. We're sort of jumping between utilities and tutors right now as we're talking through these cards because we just want to, again, like any other cEDH deck, we just want to make the play lines consistent.
Dig Through Time and Treasure Cruise were brought up. They're good enough.
Yeah, no, those are really good. Dig Through Time in particular, I think Treasure Cruise is going to be good for us. You know, those are the typical delvers. Are there any other delve cards that we should consider? Like just delve control cards?
Not really. Most of the other delve cards are either kind of cheap already but bad, or they're creatures.
Right. Like
Also,
Logic Knot.
your favorite three costed not Patrick, Mnemonic Betrayal. You get all of your opponent's three cost things
Right.
weak.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, because okay, so this is something we did talk about. Um I never know how to spell mnemonic. Sorry.
M
It
E
starts with
N
the M.
or
Yeah.
MNEM.
So, we were talking about this earlier, especially with a Mind Crank just being in the deck. Mind Crank with our commander is quite good, right? So we wanted to consider Yawgmoth's Will to just ensure that we have access to like our free stuff that we've been casting throughout the game to just continue the Storm Ball rolling. I mean, it's an old Storm card, but we can sort of do the same thing and add better links with Mnemonic Betrayal because there's an expectation that we're going to see a lot of free spells in our opponent's graveyards. I definitely think that this is one we should consider if we're trying to storm off on our turn, and I think it's a little bit safer than Yogg Dog's Will. I don't know if we need to run both. Do we just want to run Mnemonic as a one off for this sort of effect?
I think we can get away with running both. It's probably fine.
Yeah, I mean, also Yawgmoth's Will trigger. Um, right. So we're gonna. Yeah, no, it makes sense to just continue with those two storm cards. Thoughtcast. If you're going more artifact affinity route, I don't know how many artifacts we have, but you're absolutely right that affinity is another element of reduction that we haven't looked at during the stream. So I kind of want to check out affinity really quick. You're right though, Will. So far as Delve is concerned, there's nothing I was immediately seeing at least. Banish to Another Universe is a really good piece of removal, as we know. It's non-creature.
Yeah.
Are we going to have that many historics? I mean, like outside of our own legendary? I think we might.
It's going to be our legendary and artifacts. It's basically affinity for artifacts plus an extra free one.
Well, like you were saying earlier, like I think this is off camera, but we were talking about like the basic Xur strategy, like the kind of ramp you would want to see. It's going to be mostly the same ramp in this deck. Do you think that this is this playable in Xur?
Banished to another universe would not be playable in Xur only because you are running the most low to the ground curve that you possibly can. But I think that we can get away with it for Y'shtola.
Do we really need to enforce that trigger that hard? No, well, okay. So for me, I think the main reason to include utilities like that is, things like Drannith Magistrate really do hamper us. And there are some utility cards like Orcish Bowmaster that we really do need to get rid of. So anything like that will help us get past any sort of lockout.
I think we're probably fine on 3 cost and up effects. We've already put in so many that I don't think we need to build into that more now. I think
No,
from
no,
here
no.
we just put in the good stuff.
Right, but frankly, I do love the thoughts here. Like these are all extremely valid includes for a build. Like yeah, you're absolutely right. Thoughtcast, if you're going for more artifact affinity, nope. Semblance Anvil. Semblance Anvil is another cost reducer, but you need to imprint something to it. I think we're good on Semblance Anvil as well, Will.
Yeah,
But
we don't need a ton of cost reduction in this deck because most of our stuff is reducing itself.
all right, so where are we with the deck? Let's just get a bird's eye view real quick. We have a mass of spells that will trigger Y'shtola here, right? So non-creature 3 or greater. I do think we need to start incorporating our control magic. I think we need to start incorporating some utility creatures. Ideally, things that'll let us draw. We also want to incorporate some silence effects. And I think we're probably going to run silence clearly. But we can also run... What's the other one? Oh my god.
Calamity's Wake
I don't
and
know
a
if we
ban.
run... I don't know if we run Calamity's Wake. We can run Abeyance or we can run Orm's Chant. Normally you can get away with an Orm's Chant if the expectation is it's just like that one Kinnan player that's going to interact with me. Then you can just Orm's Chant them and then basically have free reign. We can also run Ranger Captain if we really want to.
If Esper Sentinel, might as well.
Yeah, is there any other one drop that we care about in Esper?
Oh, actually, we don't have Esper Sentinel, but
No,
we're probably going to be adding Esper.
Yeah, not yet, but we definitely will. I like Ranger Captain to have at least 2 targets. I don't think we're going to have another one, but... And nothing's worse than not leveraging a card. How do you guys think about ways to punish opponents' drawing? It's really just going to be Orcish Bowmaster. Am I wrong?
It's Orcish Bowmaster, because also Orcish Bowmaster draws cards off of our commander, inevitably.
Yeah. Do we want to... God, dude, that's so funny to think about. I mean, just like one Orcish Bowmaster trigger with like a fetch and a late game shock is it. Render silent. Mandate of Peace. Mandate of Peace. So this is an interesting one. Your opponents can't cast spells this turn and the combat phase. So
we don't run those.
No, it's interesting though, like if you're trying to pop off turn, you could just like you go to combat. I'll cast this. But we'll run silence minimally. Sorry.
Mandate of Peace is mostly there to just be a fog effect that can sometimes be a silence. But a lot of the time, you want to silence your opponents on their turn. Silence is not there as like a catch-all, protect your win all the time. It's that it does that like 20 to 30% of the time, but most of the time you're using it as a counterspell.
So let's incorporate some value creatures. I've got Esper Sentinel. Do we want to run Drannith Magistrate in here?
I mean, probably. It's just a brutally efficient card. I like it.
Do we want to run Opposition Agent?
Yeah. Opposition Agent, Orcish Bowmaster. Doffy is probably good enough because we can cast a thing for free that will trigger our commander, so fine.
Yeah, I feel like Doffy Voidwalker seldom sees play.
Yeah, we can potentially not use Doffy, but Doffy might make the cut here.
Yeah, it doesn't mean he's bad. It's just it's not as impactful as like a Oppo on a tutor, you know. I'm fine with these utility creatures. Did you want to incorporate the Ranger Captain?
We have 1 hit.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't want to make excuses to add 1-drops. I mean,
we can skip him. I'm a very big supporter of Ranger Captain of Eos, but if it's just Esper Sentinel, nah.
I mean, yeah, and that's just one aspect of the card, right? Like he is a silence at 3. Archivist of Akuma. I don't know that we need more draw. We will add though Mystic Remora, or yeah. Any other draw utilities you want to incorporate? We have the One Ring, Esper Sentinel, Rhystic Study, and Mystic Remora.
I mean, think we're good in Curiosity and all of those. So
right. So like we're kind of loaded.
Probably good.
Yeah, I don't know that there are any other good ones, frankly. But Archivist...
we probably just add in our ramp and then our removal.
Yeah, let's talk about ramp first. So there are rituals in this color, black namely. Do you want to include like dark red? I mean, this isn't a deck that's trying to turbo through effects, but I don't think it hurts to like ramp out artifacts.
I think Dark Writ and Cabal Writ, and then that's it. We don't go for any of the others.
I'm fine with that. Like Cabal Ritual is going to be live pretty quickly, I think, in this deck, so that's really good. Mockingbird is suggested as like a new blue utility.
That's the copy.
Right. Yeah, I don't know that we need Mockingbird necessarily.
Mockingbird got significantly worse since Dockside was banned.
Yeah.
Still a good card though. I like Mockingbird. It's just that I don't think we put it in this deck.
All right, so that's it for Ritual Ramp. Let's go ahead and add everything else. So Mox Diamond, Chrome Mox, Boop. Do we need like Mana Vaults and I guess like Mana Vault into a Signet is kind of nice, right? What do we got? What do we got that's going to leverage a Mana Vault?
It is really just rocks most of the time.
Do you want a Lotus Petal in here?
Yeah, because it can get us our commander out a turn earlier. Good enough.
No Mox Opal for us. We just want the Signets, I think, at this point. Am I wrong? Like, am I missing a 0-cost artifact that's good? It's like Mox Amber, Mox Opal. We've got the Chrome Mox, we got the Mox Diamond. I think that's really it these days.
Because we don't have Crypt or Lotus anymore.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of breaking my brain. Soul Ring is fine. We're going to do Arcane Signet. Fellwar Stone. And do we run all the other Signets?
Yeah, because color fixing. I like them. They're good enough.
All right, so Dimir Signet, it's going to be...
Actually, the talismans are probably better than the signets because they make us lose life.
Oh, you just want to go for one over the other?
Yeah, because, well, it's like if we use City of Brass and 3 talismans, we get a Y'shtola trigger on the end step.
Yeah, I never remember these. So it's going to be Talisman of Dominance.
Yeah, I'll just look up talisman for you.
I do prefer the talismans here. Actually, I just prefer the talismans in general because
they're faster because you don't have to pay the one to kickstart them.
No, I'm not trying to do that.
It is dominance, hierarchy, and progress.
Thank you. It's funny how these are just deeply better here.
And Wishclaw, the 4 talismans.
100% Wishclaw talisman. By the way, perfect transition to tutor effects. So we've obviously covered a few. I think I might have added Mystical Tutor, but someone brought it up. I did add Mystical Tutor. We added Enlightened Tutor. Those are the only 2 clean tutors we've added so far. Unless you want to consider Tainted Pact and Demonic Consultation tutors.
I would consider Vampiric Tutor and Demonic Tutor and Imperial Seal as good tutors.
Yeah, if it's on the Game Changer list, include it. That's really all Wizards was trying to help you with. They're like, oh yeah, good cards. Look at this list. They really narrowed it down, or I guess we did, and they sort of just like Imperial Seal. Excuse me. Imperial Seal, DT. I still have that foil alt art Demonic Tutor that I just don't use. The one I pulled a while ago. Do you remember the one with like the girl being possessed by a demon or whatever? I really need to use that one. Yeah, so those 3, that seems fine. Wishclaw Talisman's always a must. Beyond the 2 instant speed ones, I don't think we need like the Merchant Scroll. I added the Transmuters that are relevant. There's really nothing else for enchantments that's worth running, sadly.
Grim Tutor's probably better than the Phantasm, Drift of Phantasm.
Yeah, wow, that's sad. I can't believe you just said that, but it makes sense. Wait, whoa, hey.
We're casting it for 3 mana, so it triggers our commander, and then it makes us lose life, which can also trigger our commander.
What's that one that we got from the Eldraine? 4 cost?
Mirror. It's Beseech the Mirror.
Right, there's Beseech the Mirror and there's Beseech the Queen.
Beseech the Queen is the 6-cost one that can cost 3 black instead.
Do we want to... We're not.
We don't do Beseech the Queen.
We're not
Maybe
talking
Beseech the Mirror, just because we can get out either the One Ring or we get out a Curiosity effect.
I mean, honestly. Oh man, maybe Beseech the Mirror. Yeah, we're not trying to talk to the Queen. Love her, she's great. But not this game. Beseech the Mirror. I mean, that gives me more of a reason to want to run Dark Ritual. So sure.
But Patrick, those who hear her go mad with inspiration.
Or so they say. Any ways to make infinite mana? We're not too concerned with infinite mana. I'm sure there's a way you could factor that in, though. Dark Petition or Grim Tutor. I always forget about Dark Petition. Again, you know, we're really, the reasons for considering these, like them being over, you know, 3 or more, is nice, but like we still want the deck to be efficient, right? So far as our turn is concerned, because it's not like we're generating any more mana than the next deck, right? She's not like netting us mana when we cast spells, so these things are just high costed otherwise in the deck. So I'd like
Dark Petition is 2 mana, but it's 5 mana. Hitting the investment into Dark Petition and then getting 3 black back out feels hard, and you need to have spell mastery to get the refund. So Dark Petition hurts, but Grim Tutor is more consistent.
I think that Dark Petition mid to late game will be fine, and we're not trying to go that quickly, but I'm gonna add it to the sideboard just because I do think it's worth considering, especially in this deck. Like she gets to consider a few more utilities that other decks wouldn't. So that's it for ramp. That's it for tutors. Yes, Will, we need to add interaction. If you could just do me a favor, is there just a stellar Esper deck? I don't know, say Zur, that has like an interaction suite that we should include. If you just like copy and paste that for me. Well, that's actually tough. Right now. That's tough because we did incorporate a lot of cards that are already there.
Yeah, but for instance, it's relatively straightforward. You'll have to go through all of the instance to make sure A, no duplicates, and B, no random value pieces. Oh. But there you go.
If we do that, let me just look at the list. Will's face is gonna get fucked
up. We'll cut the hottest ploy. We'll cut all the free stuff that's already in there. We'll cut Corpse Dance. We'll cut Tainted Pact. Probably we can. Snap is a maybe.
I hate to say it. Maybe you should just like read off the few that we're missing, because I don't think we're missing that many. It's really is what is it like? There's a Chain of Vapor in there. Is there a Psych Rift? Do you even bother with that?
Pact of Negation, an offer you can't refuse.
Do you want Pact of Negation?
Yes, because if we're comboing off, saving mana can be good.
Okay. Yeah, Pact of Negation.
An offer you can't refuse. Chain of Vapor. Dispel as opposed to Dat Spell. Bluster Storm.
That's a bad card, Will. I'm just kidding.
Galadriel's Dismissal.
Yeah, fuck them.
Into the Floodmoth.
Wow.
March of Swirling Mists, which, by the way, will cost more than 3 if we pitch a blue spell.
Right, because X is included on the stack. Yeah, so that's actually quite good. March of Swirling Mist. Do you want to do the other March too then?
March of Otherworldly Light, I think, is the other one. If you do want to do that, I didn't include that in my list, but we can include it.
I'll put it in for now. Sorry, continue.
Is it a Mental Misstep?
It doesn't trigger our commander.
Doesn't need the trigger our commander. Our commander isn't the end-all be-all.
Whoa!
Swan Song.
So tell that to the Y'shtola fans. Okay. Swan Song.
The Y'shtola simps?
Yeah, pretty much. Cat lady of your dreams.
Unwanted. We can do either Unwanted Remake or Swords to Plowshare. I just have Unwanted Remake because it lets me mill in Zur.
I don't know that we need them. Actually, we're using Yogg Dog. Fuck, I forgot Unwanted Remake as a card, dude.
Here's a card that we will probably want, but for the complete opposite reason for Zur. Bitter Triumph. 1 in a black for an instant. As an additional cost, either discard a card or pay 3 life. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. I play it in Zur because it's instant speed discard, but we might want to play it because it's lose 3 life.
That's not enough. Wait,
Fair.
Wait. Well, I mean, no. I understand the logic. I want to look into Phyrexian costed utilities. I know, and I want to look into pay life. I know. But the way that was worded, how was that worded again? It's just trouble between her and Sephiroth. I don't know who's gonna be
I
more popular
it
commander of the two. That's honestly, Ember. It's a toss up. Cute cat girl or one of the most epic villains in any game. It's
but
honestly a level playing field.
Bitter Triumph is as an additional cost, discard a card or pay 3 life,
Right.
and then destroy a creature or planeswalker.
I want to pay 4 life.
I know.
I want to pay
Hey,
4
this
life.
card sucks. Why doesn't it hurt me more?
Yeah. Hurt
Well,
me more. Okay.
Cyclonic Rift, Delay, and Limdul's Vault, and then that's it.
Oh, Limdol's is amazing for us.
Yeah.
Um,
So would Doomsday be good here for anything? No, only because with Doomsday, you usually want a commander that draws you a card on your turn to be able to try to do the thing. Theoretically, there is a Doomsday pile here where you play Doomsday, which would make you lose enough life to trigger your commander, draw you a card. That one draw lets you draw 3 more cards, and then you can like flash in the Oracle or something to try to win the game. But let's see. What is like the line that could be done? Oh, it would be like your commander, Doomsday, Thought Scour, and then Reanimate effect. You mill Thoracle and something else that doesn't matter, and then you only have 1 card left in your deck with the Reanimate. That's probably the cleanest line you can do with your commander, because you just use Shallow Grave as your way to get back Thoracle at instant speed. But I don't like it. I don't want to run Shallow Grave if we don't need to run Shallow Grave.
yeah, no, that's fair. Worn Soul Trader? No.
Yeah.
No. Never. There can only be one warlock. Oh wait, it's not a warlock.
Necrodominance.
Necrodominance. What is that?
I mean, for our utilities of like draw your entire deck on end step, it is functionally the same thing.
You want to use it?
We could. Let's see. Any specific
I'm
reason?
literally just looking for pay life utilities, guys. So look, there are going to be some quirky cards we might include because they're good in the deck. So like I'm looking for things that say as additional cost, pay 4 life. Like I want some big grand effect that cantrips. Like the shit I would never consider. Is what I'm saying.
Necrodominance is probably fine.
I slotted it. Yeah, it's not bad. It's just another necro potence, more or less. Hmm. When does the ring tempt you again? If you take damage, if your opponent takes damage?
Uh, the ring tempts you when. Oh, you mean like what it does?
Yeah.
When you. It gives the creature effects.
No. How do you get temptation?
Uh, you get it when a card gives you a tempt effect.
Oh, it has to be specifically through the ring tempts you text. It's not triggered. Okay.
Yeah, there's no like trigger that triggers it in addition. It's not like it activates and then you do the thing. It's purely when you get tempted by the ring, do blah blah blah.
Did I not leave the link to the deck to you guys? I swore I copy and pasted. I'm sorry.
No.
Here. So guys, so we're all on the same page, so you know what's in the deck. Let me just go ahead. Dude, I'm so silly. I swear to God, I left this for you guys. If you want, you can refresh your screen, or this should hopefully just auto-populate for you. But that is the deck, so you can like cross-reference which cards we have in the list so far. Not that I mind suggestions. Some cards were suggested that we do have though, so check out the deck where it's at. Obviously, we're gonna need to make a few things change so far as cuts are concerned. But Steve, yeah, Dismember's in there for sure. So guys, this is where I need your help. So we're not here till 9 p.m. Any sort of pay life effects that you think would be good in the list, obviously beyond the ones we already have, you know, things like Dismember, as for instance, which is really good, Steve. So like your head's in the right place. Sorry, what's up?
So for 27 for the talking about the Doomsday pile, Gust, Born Upon a Wind, Thoracle piles seem to work well in Glarb. You can play them to draw on your end step. The issue is you have to pay 3, triple black for Doomsday. Then you have to play Gush, which let's say Gush is always free because we'll always assume it's free. And then you need to pay 1 blue for Born Upon a Wind, and then you need to pay double blue for Thoracle. So you're paying blue, 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 black, 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 generic to win the game. That is super mana intensive. Theoretically, yes, you can do that, and it can work. But also, if somebody has one piece of removal, you're bricked. You're done. You lose. So it's you can do Doomsday stuff. I don't like doing Doomsday stuff because you have to build into it a lot of the time. Because saying that you have to play Born Upon a Wind and Thoracle hurts.
Final payment, Will?
For,
if it hit more targets, I would be into final payment. As additional cost to cast a spell, pay 5 life, destroy target creature. It's bad. It's bad. don't listen to me.
There's one card you may want to run that I was thinking of this whole time, but it doesn't have the right number that you would like, but it's still a way to hurt elves for free.
For free, you say? Is it what is the creature that lets you just filter a color and then you can just keep pouring the color into it? Like you pay a black and you get mana of any color. You have to pay a life.
That is not what I was thinking about. I was thinking about Street Wraith.
Oh yeah, you pay 2 life or 3 life to
2 life cycle.
No, that's good because you could like fetch a shock the same turn.
Yeah,
I mean,
and you have a Mana Confluence and Basalt, City Brass and all those, so
yeah.
you'll usually get there.
Oh, is Tarnished Citadel in here?
No.
We need Tarnished Citadel.
Okay.
Am I wrong?
Yeah, it's correct. I'd agree with Tarnished.
3 damage? Is it a shock or is it a bolt?
It's a bolt.
Hell yeah. Wait, we also should run the bolt lands.
Yeah, the modal.
Maybe I'm going a little overboard here, but like, hear me out. It's good. It's okay. Life loss is fine. Life loss is good. So, you know what? Plunge into Darkness is a quirky utility that I haven't used in a while. But sacrifice any number of creatures, then gain 3 life for each creature lost this way, or pay X life, then look at the top X cards of your library, put one of those cards into your hand, and remove the rest from the game. Plunge into Darkness is actually a really interesting dig. I mean, really the way it reads for me is like, just pay 2 to dig 4.
Is Dismember in there? Yes, Dismember's in there. Street Wraith is a good Doomsday card. I know Street Wraith is a good Doomsday card, but the issue is our commander draws on end step, so we have to do everything at instant speed, which muddles up combos really badly.
Oh, pay life equip cards, Will?
Pay life to equip?
Okay, give me Plunge into Darkness. Plunge into Darkness. Do you want this?
Nah.
Not good enough?
Nah.
You don't want to dig with life, draw a card. So my issue with Street Wraith is it does jack shit in the beginning of the game. It's like it's Chrome Mox bait. It's really not good.
Probe.
Oh, you want Git Probe?
We could do Git Probe, but Street Wraith is an instant speed Git Probe.
Do you want both?
Your call. If you want pay life effects and you think we need to get the draw every turn, they're not bad.
I mean, we don't need the draw every turn, but draw is good. Let's just add it because I want the world to know we were thinking about it. And I'll also add Gitaxian Probe. No. We're going to cut some cards is all.
Patrick, I gotta say no. Draw is great. Beer is good and people are crazy.
Wait, are there lands that also lose life? No.
We have the pain lands. We could do pain lands, like when you taps for 2 colors and then you lose life. 1 of 2 colors.
Oh yeah. The answer is probably yes, Will. This kitty likes pain. Give it to her. You gonna look those up. Wait. What else do we got? Git Probe. I want to look at how do I look up Phyrexian mana symbols? I'm sure there's a little thing here.
If you do add symbol, they do have it as one of the options.
Oh god. Are we we sure?
It is pretty far down.
Wait.
But yeah, it's
Oh.
it's a symbol/P. And it's in the I can never remember the names of those, but the squiggly brackets.
That's fine. Symbol/P?
So mana symbol. Like a
Oh.
W/P or B/P or U/P.
I see. So white mana, 2 life. Blue mana,
I
2
think it's
life.
only going to do activated abilities if you search it by
Text.
though.
Mm,
Maybe it'll have it in the reminder text. I don't think so though.
yeah, I mean, let's just look it up. Well, let's look one at a time, I guess. Yeah, well, you're right. Oh no, Norn's Annex. No, but that has it on the card. Sorry. Oh, thanks. Are you trying to get me to copy paste that Phyrexian symbol? I don't know if I can. Oh, can I actually go here and add it? Oh, damn it. No, you guys aren't seeing that. I'm getting a question mark when I try to copy paste it. Black market connections?
I mean, no. Yes, it can give us the force. So it will draw like 2 cards a turn.
Pain
Maybe
triggers the ovulation of kitties.
by the fact that it draws us 2 per turn, maybe, but
Daspa. Yeah, is that flavor? Pain triggers the ovulation in kitties. Is that flavor? I think so. I think that's what Wizards was trying to go for. Imagine that meeting. They're like, I don't know how to design this card. Well, did you know? Hey, dude, whatever, sinks your ship, floats your boat.
So I don't think the deck runs Ancient Tomb, so we can add Ancient Tomb if you want to run it. Because I didn't run the Pain lands for the sake of Zur because Turbo Necro, and this is the Zur land base.
Will hit me. Give me all the Pain lands to include the Shock lands.
Yeah, so it's the Shock lands are in there.
Bolt lands, the MDFCs. I'm sorry. It's I remember a Shatter Skull smashing.
Well, Shatter Skull's red.
Oh, I'm sorry. Never mind. Different colors.
But Ancient Tomb, Caves of Korlos, Underground River, and Adakar Wastes. Those are the 3 Pain lands. We probably want Cephalid Coliseum, and we probably want Cabal Pit.
Is Cephalid not in here? I guess it wouldn't be.
Yeah, Cephalid's not in here.
Sorry, our land base is from a separate deck, just to get the ball rolling. But Cephalid Coliseum. And what is the blue Bolt land?
Which one?
The original one, the Mythic Rare. Are there more Bolt? I'm sorry, are there more Bolt lands?
Yeah, we got all the things from Modern Horizons 3.
Do they bolt you? Do they all bolt you?
Yeah, everyone bolts you. So Sink into Stupor. All right. Seagate Restoration.
So Sink into Stupor, Seagate Restoration. Sorry, I forgot that they were bolts. Jeez. Is Seagate 2 words?
Fell the Profane.
Fell the Profane. Never played that one.
Agadeem's Awakening.
I can Agadeem these nuts. Go on.
Witch Enchanter.
Witch Enchanter?
This Enchanter.
Gotcha.
Your personal favorite, Hydroelectric Specimen.
Yeah, the one I always forget the name of. Hydroelectric Specimen's good. It's good, then, yes. Hurt me more.
Boggart Trowler.
Oh, talk dirty to me.
Talk Trowler to me.
Talk Trowler to me.
And I think those are the Pain ones. Yeah, those are all the Pain ones. Oh, sorry, no. There's the white one. Why are the white ones not here? Wait,
it's totally nothing but a filthy Boggart Trawler.
Where's the There it is. Razorgrass Ambush.
Yeah.
That is so low on the list. Like, why is Razorgrass Ambush below like Amiria's Call and things like that? Amiria's Call is the white bolt, by the way. It's the one that makes angels.
Yeah, we're not running that shit.
I mean, we could just.
Well, it could trigger a 3 or more though, a cost of 3 or more. Will, we got a lot to cut. Did we forget anything though? Because we're 93% competitive with over 37 cards, so that's a good start. Wow, there's so many.
37. We need to cut 37 cards. Lands are going to be the first thing, because now we're going to be super heavy on lands,
Yeah.
right?
Before we get into this, again, super stoked. If you're just tuning in now, thanks for joining us. We are building Y'shtola Knights Blessed, obviously. It's in the thumbnail. If you couldn't guess from the title on said thumbnail, this is a curiosity blend. So we've got 3 curiosity effects and we have 3 infect effects. And we're trying to win with her last ability through Storm. So we've got things like Yawgmoth's Will, Mnemonic Betrayal to help us plow through our turns, and a shit ton of free spells. So anytime you manipulate one, pull it back out. That snuff out, I don't care what I target. I'm just trying to infect you. If that fails, I mean, and it's kind of crazy because we have a lot of removal in this list. I think more than the typical control deck, maybe even, just to ensure that we can get our commander out. We do have Thassa's Oracle and Demonic Consultation as a backup line. So with that in mind, we are going to make cuts. Again, the list is in the description, so if you want to help us do that, also you can copy and paste this to your favorite deck editor if you also want to build off of this list. I do think that this is the route to take Y'shtola, though. Again, thanks for joining us pretty early in the morning. Appreciate it. If you're enjoying the stream, feel free to leave it with a like. And if you're going to pick up any of these singles, there's a little TCG Player affiliate link. Hook up your boy. Hook up your boy. Do we want Skrelv?
No.
I just looked at him. I don't know. No, I don't think we do. I don't think we want any of the mom effects.
Well,
what about Crick? What about Crick? I mean, we technically could. But well, let's make our cuts first, and then I think we can consider any sort of additional incorporations. But
we are currently 14 lands over.
Over what do you want? Like 20?
30. So 30 is usually the number I go for testing out a deck.
Are we gonna consider any of the MDFCs? Like, there's no reason we shouldn't run them, especially with her. Excuse me. Okay. What do you want to cut? We are going to favor our pain lands, I would think.
Let's cut Prismatic Vista, the 3 basics, and we'll just say we cry if we see a Blood Moon. And
You're
then
gonna cut the 3 basics. Wait, well, there's snow and regular. Which ones do you prefer? Well, do you like the snow?
Do we have all the regular one?
Yeah. I mean, this is a land base that's also tailored for DC.
We
and Tainted
don't
deck,
have
obviously.
a swamp. We don't have an island.
I hate to say it. I do think we cut
We don't have non snow basics.
Oh, do we not?
No.
Will, we need something to fetch beyond the shocks and the.
But we have duels. We have duels and shocks.
So you're okay with just getting ass blasted by a Blood Moon?
That's what the signets are there for. They're the talismans.
It's gonna be hard to store them. We're not generating treasures. We got nothing.
Well, the thing is, like, we just need to kill Blood Moon or Magus of the Moon, and most of our deck is free removal.
All right. Okay. Look, we still need to cut lands. So, like, the Verge lands, I think, are probably next on the chopping block.
The Verge lands are cuttable.
By the way, Verge lands, great. If you haven't picked up any from Duskmourn or the recent set Ether Drift, you should pick up copies of them while they're relatively cheap. I haven't been monitoring the prices, but I imagine they're pretty cheaper now. They're great duels,
I really like the context of Verge lands. Great, get the fuck out of here.
yeah. Well, outside of this deck, because our kitty likes the pain, and I'm gonna give it to her. So 29 lands currently. Probably get rid of the exotic because it's slow if we're on the play.
Yeah, we can get rid of exotic. We can get rid of emergence zone. We can get rid of forbidden orchard potentially, because giving people bodies to block kind of goes against what our commander wants to do.
The forbidden orchard. Yeah, mind you, again, this is a land base we're operating off of from a different deck. We added how many MDFCs? We added like 6.
We added 8.
We added 8. So we're at 34 lands. We need to cut 4 more lands. Blood Moon is bad. Who plays that?
Blood Moon is good in current meta.
Blood Moon's pretty. I mean, I think Magda plays it, right?
Magda plays it, but I think Godo players have actually started trying Aether Spark in a slower game plan. Also, Godo players just play Blood Moon in general because the card is really good.
You probably run Magus of the Moon too. Am I wrong?
Yeah. You run both.
Yeah,
Uh,
don't be the player that gets screwed by that, like us. Um, do we have removal for? I guess it would just be an artifact to cast Chain of Vapor. That's all we got. All right. Well, we need to cut 4 more lands.
I'm looking through all of them and I'm like, wow, all of our lands are like pain lands. We could cut to Command Tower, which feels just incorrect.
Otawara? Any of like the singular pip lands? I'm
You know,
favoring
it
the lands.
honestly, it is probably correct to cut Otawara because we already have so many single color sources off of the modals, and the modals are better because of our commander. I don't like saying let's cut Otawara, but we can
Will,
cut Otawara.
hear me out. The true duels.
No, incorrect.
Well, it's still bracket 5, even without them. Because they're not game changers. Can you believe it?
We're
Your
not cutting
scrubland?
we're
It's just
not cutting the true duels.
this is truly for scrubs. It's not a game changer. Your Taiga, not a game changer. None of that shit's a game changer.
Here's the thing, Patrick. We're gonna be fetching before commander's out to set up for commander. We are looking for the OG duels.
Yeah, no, we are. We are. Well, we have 3 more lands to cut, and I don't know we have it in us. I don't know that we have it in us.
We could cut fetches.
Just
We could
cut
cut some.
other removal. You would rather keep Otawara over other removal. So yeah, Otawara, it just bounces. I mean, it does bounce an enchantment, and that is kind of relevant.
Otawara bounces every relevant It bounces every relevant permanent type except battles. So every relevant permanent type. Um, and
Ouch.
lands, but obviously not lands.
Okay, well, Cephalid Coliseum is kind of meh.
Yeah, we can cut Cephalid Coliseum, and I think that we can cut a couple of fetches. We can cut the ones that don't look for two
Both.
of our colors if
Yeah,
we
so like
need.
red, white. I think white's probably low on the totem. It's really low on the totem pole for us. So like Arid Mesa can go. What else can
What
we?
is it? Windswept Heath is the other one.
Yeah, green and white. And I know this feels weird. I'm sorry. It feels weird. We've got 22 lands after this. I mean, not including MDFCs. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I
All right.
also like MDFCs in this deck more than non-MDFCs
Oh my
because
god. Yes, dude.
we have so many things that say like pitch a blue card, pitch a black card, pitch a white card.
You know, pitching the fetches is a good idea for sure though. What's the we need to get rid of one more fetch land.
Uh,
Is it one I don't know. Misty Rainforest. No, we need blue. Verdant Catacombs is good. Blue
it really should
red.
not matter because any fetch finds all of our colors.
Yeah,
So
at this point, I
you just
guess
get rid of the least flexible fetch. I'd say get rid of one of the black and color we don't have ones like Bloodstained
sure,
Mire.
sure, sure. All right, well that helps us out. We need to cut 23 cards. Let's start at
All right.
our artifacts here. I think this is easy. These all stay. The only one that's questionable for me is the Manifold.
We can cut Manifold. It's just early acceleration.
Right, Soul Ring is still better.
Do honestly, the more I look at it, I think that we should probably cut the Mind Crank combo just in general. I do like Blood Chief's Ascension and Mind Crank in the list, but if we need to cut things, we already have Thoracle combos and we already have just Necropotence play your whole deck, and
Yeah.
we already have
Curiosity
Infect plus play
Storm.
a couple cards.
Yeah, no. Yeah, we don't. I don't think we need another out. Um, no, and I agree. I think Mind Crank. There's also the detriment of it just not like if it's in your hand, it's kind of a dead card as opposed to like, oh, this thing triggers my commander. I draw a card. I do this. I do. It's like everything else sort of has utility added on top of it. Where Mind Crank is like playing for a different strategy. It's like I'm with you there. I think we can cut that. We can cut Manifold, and we can cut Blood Chief's Ascension. All right, that's it for artifacts. I think the rest of these stay. Lotus Petal is also one of the weaker links for me, just because it's one and done, and it's basically just a 1 mana ritual like you would with your spirit guides. But I think it's still good enough, and I think off of a Yawgmoth's Will, it's going to be fine for us. So, all right, Street Wraith Will. Are we going too far?
For our creatures, I think we can cut Dothy Voidwalker, and we could
Damn.
probably cut Street Wraith.
How did I know that that would be cut number one, Dothy Voidwalker? How did I know?
Eh,
What is it about us that doesn't like Dothy Voidwalker? Audience, do you run Dothy Voidwalker in your list that includes black? Like,
funny, I include Dothy Voidwalker in a ton of decks. It's just that we are running such a compact list, and Grave Hate is less relevant than most things, that Dothy Voidwalker is cuttable.
reanimate to lose life, maybe? Oh, as like additional effects? Potentially. Dothy Voidwalker is like really great, don't get me wrong. I just feel like it just never makes the cut because it's good in a slower control-y list, and I think that's kind of what this is, but even here it doesn't feel good to go double black. Like, if you look at everything else, like we're really not committing much by way of color. So it's very easy to like get these things out, like barring Thassa's Oracle, but that's a different story. And Street Wraith is yeah, it's like it's cheeky. I think we're doing too much at that point. Drift of Phantasms, Will?
Yeah, we can cut Drift.
See him get slipped in there. How about Valley Flood Caller? Is this good enough? Is this an auto include in every trip color deck now?
So
I like, and Doffs, please, I like Dothy Voidwalker. I feel like it's always cut. I feel like it's always cut when we do these builds. And maybe that's wrong of us. So like you can incorporate it. It's obviously on the side for a reason.
I think Valley Flood Caller is still keepable for just tutor one of the Necros win the game, because if it makes it so that we can play out all of our mana rocks, try to do something crazy good. If it makes it so that we can play out all of our free sorcery spells, then play Yawgmoth's Will, then replay everything from graveyard, good. I think Flood Caller is just good enough.
Is it just better Vidalcan Ori?
For our deck, yes.
Okay.
There's the fairy that's better Vidalcan Orrery now, though. It's a flash creature that gives your stuff flash.
All right, well, banish to another universe.
Cuttable. For enchantments, we can cut Blood Chief, which you already did, banish to another
Smothering
universe, and Smothering
Tide.
Tithe.
Yeah, Smothering Tide's cool.
We don't need the mana, though.
Well, we're trying to storm.
But I mean, we're trying to storm with free spells.
Yeah, this is true. All right. There's a lot of instance, and we're gonna start with our sorceries first. Treasure Cruise, Will.
Uh, for sorceries,
Treasure Cruise.
the Delve, yeah, Delve sorcery is probably too slow. For let's see, Unmask is fine. Treasure Cruise is probably cuttable. Mnemonic Betrayal may be cuttable, but
Stop. No. No, I like it. I
Idyllic
like
Tutor is cuttable.
you caught that one? It's still in there. We have 13 more cards to cut, and I think that's fair. I do want to rock Mnemonic Betrayal. I do think it's like our game is not. I don't think our game is faster than anyone else's. Like if we happen to cheat out Necropotence early, we don't really have the fast mana to support it. We don't have we don't have a mana base to support like a really fast game. So frankly, things like Mnemonic and Yawgmoth into the mid game feel better to me than like some fat Necro hand.
Well, it's funny because with Necro we can just pay 4 to fill up our hand enough with our commander trigger, and then next turn we untap and just go boom, game.
Yeah. I think we can move to instance now.
All right. I'm gonna go down in
Okay.
alphabetical order just because that's the way that it shows on the deck list editor. But let's see. Good, 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 good.
Contagion. Pay 1 life and
Um,
exile a black card rather than pay the spell's mana cost. Contagion isn't doing enough damage. If it was -2, -2, I would say that this is a better card. I mean, obviously,
yeah,
it could go -2 on one creature.
it's -4, -2 on one thing. Funnily enough, it's two -2, -1 counters on one thing.
Yeah, it's very awkward.
I love it.
Different times.
We can cut contagion. I don't even like that.
I like that those contagion counters, they're legit counters. They don't make counters like that.
We can cut dig through time just because it's 2 mana at its best.
Right. Which doesn't feel good enough. I am with you there. Snuff out, foil, Fell the Profane is gonna stay for the simple fact that it's
So
bolt
with
lands.
stuff like foil and abolish, they are less good since we did cut basics, but they're still probably fine.
I almost want to cut them though.
I have never known that Force of Despair had an alternate art.
Oh, are we on it? Oh yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Dude, the Force of Despair alt art is amazing.
I don't know if it's a reference to something specific, but it looks like a Scrooge.
Looks like what?
Looks like Scrooge, Ebenezer Scrooge from
Oh, I'm getting
Christmas
like
Carol.
some Aztecan god or something. Although I think that's more of like a Western helmet. It's hard to tell.
I couldn't tell if that was like a nightcap or something, but
Right.
I don't know. That's more of like a helmet. Yeah, that's definitely a helmet.
Well, I think foil and abolish are on the chopping block for me for sure. I'm gonna get rid of those suckers.
Let's see.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, wait. Consider cuts. I need to do one thing. Sorry.
Okay.
Be right back.
Nice to hear that you're picking up the format Spartan. Yeah, it's I assume you mean Plarg, by the Starfish, the Azori Starfish, and Kark Sakashima. Those are two pretty good and consistent Storm decks. Fair, understandable losses. Hashiton's really cool to do some of the good Hashiton stuff. It's really complicated, like doing end step manipulation with or discarding the hand size of Necropotence. Hello.
I have a grand prize coming. I won a
Oh,
tournament and I think it's coming early.
nice.
Yeah, there's like it's a bunch of shit. I just don't want to
Um,
miss it. I just don't want to miss it because I don't want to have to drive to the freaking location to pick up the package. Anyway, hey Demi, guys, I just played my first cEDH game this week. I played Hashiton, lost to the Starfish and Krakashima. That's fine. I mean, I feel like you're probably still getting a feel for Hashiton, but I'm curious to know like how did it perform for you? But hey,
and
man.
which version do you play?
Yeah.
Because there's like three different versions of Hashiton. I'm playing the really good value creatures like Jin Gitaxis and Consecrated Sphinx. I'm cheating out specifically Rozketh, or I'm discarding the hand size and then winning on end step with something like Necropotence.
Well, we need to cut 9 more cards.
Okay. For the instance, we can probably cut.
Is Disrupting Shoal? I don't know. That Disrupting Shoal is one of the better ones.
I think Disrupting Shoal is still good. I think the marches are cuttable over Disrupting Shoal, but Disrupting Shoal just by itself is good enough.
Remove a blue card from your hand. Okay. Let me get this straight.
You just exile a blue card that's equal to the cost, that has the same cost as the thing you want to counter. That's how
it needs to be
Disrupting Shoal reads.
specifically the same converted mana cost, not less.
Yeah. To be fair, that's not hard if we're keeping a full hand.
Our numbers are kind of all over the place, though. Do you know what I mean? Like we've got.
We're mostly on like 1s and 2s for random blue stuff.
All right. I do want to keep the march that gets rid of opposing, like rings and shit. Like may exile any number of blue cards in your hand. Swirly Mist can go. I like Otherworldly Light a little bit better.
We
don't have that many white spells to exile though, frankly. Like the deck is really light on white.
Yeah.
As with most decks.
And the worst part is I think we're potentially gonna cut another white card with Abolish just because we have 4 planes in the deck.
Oh.
Like Abolish and Foil are probably cuttable.
I cut Abolish already.
Okay.
Foil I also cut.
Okay.
I had good stuff mainly in Leveler. Got you. Esper Sentinel. You want to cut Esper Sentinel or no, it's in the deck. I'm sorry. We're going to keep Esper Sentinel, I think. Am I wrong? It's a good card, right? I'm not
We're
mistaken.
drawing enough cards with our commander by herself that we probably could cut Esper Sentinel, because
Will
Esper
turn
Sentinels are
one
good
mate?
for explosive games, but the longer the game goes on, the more pointless Esper Sentinel becomes.
Becomes like a fun nuisance. It's a fun nuisance for people.
It's still a good card. It's just that when compared to everything else, is it cuttable?
Hey, Wolf. Yeah, we did. I don't know why we elected 8 a.m. My wife and I usually get up pretty early, and she had to leave for work at like 7. So I don't know. I'm like, Will, like, I kind of got a stacked day. Do you want to just like start early? Here we are. Thanks for jumping in, though, man.
We can probably cut Unwanted Remake.
Damn, dude, just get rid of all the white cards, why don't you?
It's well, the thing is, Unwanted Remake is also just
Hmm.
removal, and we have significant creature removal already because most of our removal is permanent removal.
Switch came with God? What? Sorry. Oops, missed it in the list. No, Steve, you're good. I was just wondering if you wanted us to cut it. Madness. I like having 40 instants. I like pills. I like drugs. I like making money. Cut interaction that has no synergy. You know, I don't hate that thought process, Daswa.
We need interaction, and the issue is we're cutting interaction that has no synergy. We're
Already,
opening ourselves up to like a lot of bad scenarios where we're just playing bad interaction until we get our commander out.
yeah. So frankly, I do think we're maybe above. This is a really hard balance because like we need the play options that make sense in like every other deck, right? Like the Chain of Vapor, like we're not even on like a Swords to Plowshare. Like we don't have any like actual removal for bodies. We're just bouncing them. Am I crazy? What like we're kind of lacking in hard removal.
Yeah, but we really only need to ever keep one or two bodies off the table, and then
I
we
truth
vomit
be
out our hand once we hit Curiosity or when we hit a Infect Effect.
right, it's an infect effect. And so
Infect Effect,
we
Infect
don't
Effect, Infect Effect, Infect Effect.
we don't care too much about we don't care too much about stacks, if I'm being honest. Like certain things we do care about, like things that are gonna tax us or stop us from casting multiple spells a turn. Like, so what are the worst offenders against a storm list, right? Like a rule of law, an opposing in this instance, if we're doing the curiosity line, an opposing Orcish Bowmaster. Like, do we have solutions for those things? If we have enough solutions for the things that actually stop us, then we really don't need to deal with the rest of those things. So it's okay that we're only really relying on our counter spells.
Well, with Rule of Law stops some of our play lines, but we have other play lines that we can go into because we can just play one thing on each player's turn and kill everybody with that. Um, with if we do Necropotence, we're drawing most of our deck. We have removal, and we just need to bounce one thing on the turn we're trying to go off.
Do we need
Uh,
both Necropotence and Necrodominance?
I like the redundancy, but we can cut Necrodominant. Necrodom, we need to cut something.
Your maximum hand size is 5. At the beginning of your end step, you may pay any amount of life if you do draw that many cards. If a card
You
or
know,
token will be put in.
you may not like me saying this, Patrick, but we also probably should just cut Besiege the Mirror because
No,
we're
no,
not,
no, no.
we're not going to have bargain a lot of the time.
No,
And
I agree with you. I
if we
agree.
need more cuts, we can cut the cost reduction creatures and maybe Valley Floodcaller.
The cost reduction creatures in Valley
Brawl
Floodcaller.
and
Yeah.
the Thunderclap.
How good is Valley Floodcaller in this deck?
It is a second copy of Born Upon a Wind for doing Storm on End Step stuff.
Storm on end step, storm on opponent's turn, kind of stuff. Right. I mean, you're
It's
you're referring specifically to Necropotence here, but
yeah, Valley Floodcaller is honestly just cuttable enough because I feel like Born Upon a Wind is significantly better in the fact that it lets us flash into Oracle. Floodcaller doesn't.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Because
we
I
can
feel
get
like that's secondary. Because like I feel like we're losing sight of the fact that like our main objective is Infect Storm. I think that is our main goal, ideally. But I do think that, yes, with a fat Necropotence, this deck can win just as easily. A couple of ways. And, you know, we still need to crank the Mnemonic Betrayal or the Yawgmoth's Will on end step, likely. So, like, having the redundancy isn't a bad thing. Sorry, Demi, you're suggesting needing to damage by paying life a lot for spells, just draw a single card. I got here. An interesting choice for cEDH and needing to damage. Yeah, you know, we've got a lot of quirky utilities in this list. I'm not gonna lie. Like, we've got a lot of life loss effects, and this is the one time I think when we play test this list, Will, that I will be tracking our life total, because we have a lot of life loss in this deck.
So, yeah, dude. For Demi, to give you the whole rundown of the list, the major effect on our commander is the last part, because this is not an Amanatu list, if Patrick wants to pull up the cat so that people can see it. But this is a Y'shtola list. The Y'shtola is just not on tapped out yet. But Y'shtola says at the beginning of each end step, if a player lost 4 or more life, draw a card. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell that costs 3 or more, deal 2 damage to each opponent and gain 2 life. The main idea of the deck is that we're either going to be putting Curiosity on Y'shtola, so whenever we cast a non-creature spell that costs 3 or more, we draw 3 cards, or we're going to be putting an Infect effect on Y'shtola, and then every time that we cast a thing that costs 3 or more, we put 2 poison counters on everybody. So Y'shtola is there to just let us burn. It's Gutter Snipe. It's better Gutter... It's a Gutter Snipe in the command zone that gains us some life, which is good. Nothing can win the game. I brought up the fact that Y'shtola is literally just Gutter Snipe.
Yeah. How about Delny?
Delny, doubling triggers.
2 power, right?
Yeah, that...
Doubling triggers,
maybe.
Will. 2 draws.
Honestly, yeah.
Fuck yes, Delny. Wait.
Well, double triggers and double draw.
And, I mean, yeah, double the Infect, double the fun with Doublemint Delny.
Well, it's more so like double the Curiosity, because casting 1 card draws us 6 cards at that point. And then...
Ooh, Doublemint Delny. Dude, there's a reason she's $30.
Delny is very much a major include.
Wait.
Spartan, yeah. It is not noticeable at first glance, because Patrick and I looked over Y'shtola like 3 times, and we were like, okay, so it's a drain commander. It's a drain commander. Oh, it's a damage commander.
The first look was like, this is a crap card. And then, wait, what was the other card we want to include that was suggested?
Delny?
No, it was one before that, before I left. We said, that would be good. Not Delny. I'm sorry.
We think we were talking about cuts before you left.
We did, someone did bring up another card, I swear to God. Or even we talked about it. Never mind, it's fine. Yeah, Delny, yes. I think we do want to incorporate Delny. You know, it's so sad. I went to get more coffee and...
Hold on. I can literally... We're on a VOD. I can literally just rewind the second after... or before you left, and then you reference that. Give me a second.
Yeah, so I was literally going to say, you know, yes, so we considered Delny. Do we want to consider Roaming Throne? Because it's more or less, right, the same thing. Did we include our own Orcish Bowmasters? God, I hope so. Yeah, okay, good. Roaming Throne costs 1 more, and you choose a type, likely cat. If a triggered ability of another creature you control of the chosen type triggers, it triggers an additional time. It's more or less the same thing. I think Delny's a little bit better for us. I think we only really need the 1. If we're going to try to go for 1, I'm happy to just have it be Delny. Sorry, guys. We need to cut 2 more cards, and then we can break in this list and see if it's any good. And destroyed all I own. I was just watching the Tiny Desk for Dochi. I've watched it once. It's still just as good. Dochi and Jenny just released a new single, by the way, so you should listen to that. Don't ask me why. Like, the first thing I did when I woke up this morning was just, like, listen to that. I completely missed it when it came out.
It looks like there was not a card that was mentioned. We didn't really mention anything. We're talking about
Maybe it was
cutting
up
necro
here.
cutting Necrodominance, running all the pain effects that we had to draw cards, yada yada yada.
Oh. I think we were talking about removal, though. Was there not a piece of removal we wanted to incorporate? Not like a Swords to Plowshare, but any other hard removal we wanted to incorporate? Because, like Dawson was saying, like the deck has just a lot of awkward cards without our commander.
Well, if you want to run one piece of good removal that you love that is not in here, we could run Split Up.
Split Up's so fucking good.
Yeah.
Right. Well, look, so Toxic Deluge here is really good. But mind you, if we were to go 4 into Deluge, our commander dies. So it's kind of an awkward piece of removal. Like, we need to use this in tandem with something else to actually get the benefit of the draw. That doesn't make it bad. Also, if there is an opposing Orcish Bowmaster, they would trigger before this goes off. So, like, they can ping us for 1. Well, that's provided we get the draw at the end of turn. Nah, fuck them. I don't know. We still use Deluge. We can add the Split Up, but we need to cut 3 cards now. So
Yeah.
let's get serious. The Split Up is so good. Oh my god, this card. Such a smart card. I just love. Can I just like? I just want to say one thing. We talk about this game a lot, and then like there's complaints and there's a lot of woe about the general direction with like the introduction of different IPs into standard format. I just love the fact that they've never lost their creative energy when it comes to good card design. Like they've been creating cards for this long, and that we finally see something like a Split Up. Like sometimes we'll get cards that are power crept, but there's still original shit. So kudos to the design team. We see so much cool stuff, and namely with like the stuff we're seeing from this current set. Like I'm loving what we're seeing. I love that we have cool new cards to play with, and yeah, I totally forgot about Split Up there. So thank you.
So I think I have the 3 cuts that are probably the best things to cut. One,
Okay.
Cabal Ritual. I
Yeah,
don't think we need the burst of mana.
yeah.
2, Flawless Maneuver. I think it is the next worst free spell in our deck.
Oh, poor. We thought this is the one deck.
Yeah.
I don't disagree though. So I don't disagree.
And well, you're probably going to disagree with this next one. I think we cut the One Ring. The reason why is we have so many curiosity is just better One Ring once we get our commander out. So I don't think we need the One Ring. I think we have finding curiosity and playing one spell draws us 3 cards.
Because okay, look, we net the one draw natural off the girl with how the deck is structured. Like we should be able to do 4 damage to ourselves or others. The One Ring is kind of the life loss per burden will actually stack up into the late and give us an additional draw just for being there on top of its own draw.
If we draw
It's
4
overkill.
cards, then we draw a 5th card.
I know. It's funny though, but like realistically, like that shit can actually help. It's like 99 card singleton, So like if for whatever reason we're getting stumped, I think into the late it can help us.
I think if we're getting to the point where One Ring has 4 burden counters on it, we either already won or like we're losing.
Yeah,
We're because
frankly, the only
we get
situation that it occurs is like if you're heavily getting stacked and like in a competitive setting, like with a timer, yeah, it's gonna be bad. Like you should have won, like Will is saying, or the game is gonna go to a tie or some shit. Why is Unmask in? Unmask is a utility that triggers our draw effect. So when we're storming, if and when we are storming,
triggers our damage effect, which does our whole
I'm
thing.
sorry, I'm yeah. Will is correct. It does trigger our bottom ability, and I was thinking about the curiosity lines, but yeah, you're ultimately going to want to use this as a potential storm card. It also just gives you knowledge. Like I like this a lot as a utility if we're trying to win on our turn. Because we don't even need to do end step. If we just have a fat enough hand, we can kind of just leverage this. I like this though. I think the knowledge is good, and I do think that it in tandem with our commander's ability, it's quite good.
Thoughts on adding the roaming throne and cutting muddled mixture?
I don't know that we need both. I don't know
I
that we need both because, like, I would rather at that point have the One Ring.
I like the redundancy only because for our storm turns, if we hit Delney and then we play Delney and then we continue to keep going, we're drawing our whole deck in one turn. It's kind of same with the roaming throne. Theoretically, we could just tutor for Delney or the roaming throne if we're going off, but it could be nice to have a second one. Also, roaming throne is a 4/4, so it will deal the 4 damage by itself, just by hitting. So it would trigger our commander's second ability. But I'm willing to agree that yeah, we don't need the roaming throne. Do we want to cut muddle for the One Ring then? Keep with the One Ring round and get rid of muddle the mixture?
You know, the One Ring's kind of hard to put down without a Cabal Ritual and a Mana Vault. And I don't think we're going to prioritize it over our commander, but I do think that it is a good card, generally speaking.
Yeah.
Like, I think, like, the fault was like, here's what I could foresee happening. Like, we'll have a hand that starts with, like, a ramp, and maybe we pull into the One Ring. Realistically, if we're, you know, land, play ramp, play some interaction, we're going to get to the point where we land Y'shtola, but we've got, like, 2 or 3 cards in hand. And if one of those 3 cards is the One Ring, I feel really good. Because we know we have the mana to play it, and it's going to help us propel into the latter half of the game. So I could see us doing Muddle the Mixture for the ring. Right? Okay, let's just try it. The issue here is that we've got a lot of really decent options for this deck. I do think we're leaning maybe a little too hard on the life loss aspect. But everything that we're leveraging is really good. So it's like,
Yeah, it's good for experimentation purposes at the very least, because this is more so like a showcase deck
yeah.
for what the commander does. So if we play the commander, the life loss effects feel like they don't do enough, then okay, well we can tell people we can cut them, or they should cut them on the next iteration.
Yeah. Okay, so guys, that is our Y'shtola build so far. Obviously, there are additional cards you can incorporate. Definitely some changes you can make with the overall structure of the list. I'll encourage you to do so. What I want to do is see if we can get some Infect wins, how quickly we can get those wins, if those wins are protected. There's a lot to manage here, but namely, moreover than any other deck, we're actually going to want to track our life to make sure that this list is consistently doing that top thing without putting us in a position where we could die. Right? But also, how effective is a Necropotence even going to be in a list like this if we're losing so much life? So we'll see. Some of the mechanics. Yeah. Just on the note of Ether Drift and products, like, again, I really think that the game designers are doing an amazing job with this game. I do feel like Ether Drift failed on one element. I don't think there were enough cards that cared about different speeds. And it would have been nice to see them emphasize like speed 2 or speed 3 or something that like sort of gradually grew with the game. They've done that with other cards mechanically, like different level up characters, a variety of things that care about progress. Like they're encouraging you to play a certain way and you're benefited for doing that. Because I remember I was playing with my brother-in-law Ether Drift. I bought some pre-release kits, and then I went to playing a draft of Bloomburrow with him. And Bloomburrow just felt so much more organic, so much better to me as a set to play in a limited environment than Ether Drift. And it just failed on the max speed mechanic because everything cared about that, and there were just a lot of things that were offline a majority of the games. It was kind of painful to have to deal with that. Everything else I really like though. At any rate,
One card that would be a good example of an interesting speed effect that I would like is something like Reckless Racer, 1 mana for a 1/1 red creature with haste that gets +1/+0 equal to your speed. At the beginning of combat, if you have max speed, sacrifice it. So it's a card that ramps up your speed. It gets better with speed until you hit max speed, then it crashes.
yeah, I would love that.
Cool flavor would.
Honestly, also like if there was one that
Also,
that
it would probably need to be an O1, but same concept.
right. Yeah. There was so much more to play with the flavor, like the idea of like crashing and burning, like you're saying, or exceeding your limits, pushing yourself
We
to the limit, things that would like
really
exert
have
them.
like one card that's like a crash, like explosive finale or whatever
Mhm.
that card was. That was the only crash
Is
card we
was there
got.
like a cool like? Is there anything that says like exert this character at the end of this turn, sacrifice the like the vehicle you crewed or whatever? Like, is there a pilot that like wrecked vehicles for being a bad driver?
I don't think so.
Right, but like conceptually, like there's cool shit like that. There's art with like crashes happening, but like where's the pilot that's making that crash happen? Like the concept of being on a racetrack, there are cards that excelled at expressing that, and then there are just a lot of misses. Like you're saying, like a way to make Reckless Racer an actual Reckless Racer. Um, I don't know. It's like such a cool theme. I love like go kart games, like Crash Bandicoot Racing, Mario Kart. In racing games, I grew up with Gran Turismo. Like I love racing. I don't follow professional racing, but I love racing games. So I do feel like they failed on a few elements. But
Oh,
the world, and it
Reckless
sucks that
Racer.
we're not going to. I'm sorry. It sucks that we're not going to revisit this world for likely years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize Reckless Racer was a literal card that existed. I was like, let's just call it Reckless Racer because
Mhm.
alliteration. No, that's a real card. But something like that. Because we had that whole team, racing team that was speed goblins,
Yeah.
and we did not get pretty much any goblin-esque effects with them.
Yeah. All right. Well, enough about disappointment. Let's talk about pure bliss. All right. So we're gonna rock Y'shtola again. She is being stood in for by Aminatu, so you're gonna see her. Do we want to keep City of Brass, Command Tower, Pact of Negation, Force of Negation, Git Probe, Toxic Deluge, and Imperial Seal? Is this a good starter? Eh,
Uh, Imperial Seal lets us find colors. Hold
I think we just. You're good. You're good. I
Yeah,
think we obviously if we kept this we would rock Command Tower, Imperial Seal. But what's the best card we grab here? It's not a Soul Ring. Also,
yes.
it's
Soul
important,
Ring is what I gravitated towards to begin with.
but it's like it feels bad. I almost want to just do Imp Seal, Signet, or Arcane Signet specifically, and then Git Probe the Signet so we just have it for next turn, right? And that way we'll have like land Signet, and then we can hold up interaction.
Yeah.
Is this a good start though for your Stola? Like should we be more aggressive at finding just a hand that has ramp in it to begin with? You're good. You're good.
I'd like to try to find a hand with at least one piece of fast mana, but I think that this hand is playable only due to the fact that it's consistent enough, and it gives us one pain effect and toxic deluge to
So
draw later.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Pact of Negation here is painful. Like this is not a deck that's trying to turbo out a win. So like when I see Pact, and I'm not ready to manipulate it kind of hurts. Pact, I feel iffy on in this list still, but I do understand why it's there. For when we are trying to storm off, just as a way to maintain our mana. Because again, it's not like we're generating mana here. All right, let's just go. Let's just keep this and go for a win here.
Yeah,
Uh,
we'll see how it
like
plays.
life loss is rough, maybe Children of Corliss. Yeah, we're gonna see how rough it actually is. Again, like we're using all the pain lands like the one we just drew. We're not gonna start with a pain land here though. We will do and even like Imp Seal, like these effects where you're just losing life consequentially, they're quite good for the deck because they can net us a draw. But we'll do Imp Seal.
I
We'll
also don't
go.
think the life loss is going to be too bad in our deck because the only thing that we have in our deck that cares about life is Necropotence, and we're not always trying to draw our whole deck off of
Yeah.
Necropotence. We can just keep paying 4 to draw 5 cards.
Can I just say, Imp Seal Get Probe is already 4 life loss. Like this is out without Y'shtola, but like if she was out, we would have had a draw at end of turn, which is kind of sick to think about.
Yeah,
So yeah, we'll get Probe to get the Signet in hand and look at probably the other control list hand just to make sure that we're good going to the next turn. What we can and what we don't and do need to counter or hold interaction for, and then we move on. Okay, so we'll bloop. I did shuffle. We got our other pain land. I think we'll start with the City of Brass still though, and we'll go for the Arcane Signet here. This ensures that we have our commander next turn. And again, I will be tracking our life as we go along. So if I keep me honest, if I forget, please let me know. We're at 35 though. All right, so we're holding interaction. We've got jack shit. This would be really great if we had, you know, something other than Pact of Negation, like the Swan Song or any sort of one cost spell. An offer you can refuse could actually be cute to cast on ourselves, by the way. Right? In case we need the mana going into a turn. Like I'll pact something and offer my own pact. All right, next turn. Orcish Bowmaster. Let's go. Okay, Underground River. You know, maybe we should have put more pain lands down, because at a certain point, if we're just tapping enough pain lands, that's the 4 right there. But that's interesting. Okay, well, we're not there yet. So what we're going to do is, I think, just cast our commander, or do we want to hold?
We can cast our commander.
Right. Boop. Boop, boop. This will be a generic, and these will be our colors. So we only lose 1 life here.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll put the cat down. Lost 1 life at the end of this turn. We've not cast anything else. We might need to use our Force of Negation off turn, which I'll just say that we had to do. What do you want to do?
We're at the point where that might draw a card, because people would be fetching for shocklands now.
Right.
So we actually probably do get a draw if Y'shtola.
Yeah, I'm cool with that assumption. You know, a player might have shocked something out, is trying to go for something. We need to add to this pile. So we'll do a Force of Negation, exiling the Pact of Negation. We'll counter that spell, and by end of turn, they should have lost 4 life. We'll just say we draw here. Ophidian Eyes. Ophidian Eye.
Spain, it is funny that you say that cEDH got slower since you left, and you left as Flash Hulk was getting banned, because Flash Hulk got banned and the format got a tiny bit slower, and then Dockside became more prominent and the format got ridiculously faster, and then it became the fastest time in cEDH history, and Mana Crypt got banned and Jeweled Lotus got banned and Dockside got banned, and then the format became significantly slower.
We have 6 mana here. We have the ability to cast Ophidian Eye and a Toxic Deluge, if we want the non-creature trigger. I see going Ancient Tomb no matter what.
I like playing Ancient Tomb and then just holding up mana.
You don't want
because Ophidian Eye has flash, the Orcish Bowmaster has flash.
Right. We're not triggering, but do you get me? Like, the only thing we can do to trigger the draw is Toxic Deluge right now.
Yeah, and we'll do that later, and we're gonna try to utilize, because we lose 4 life off of the mana sources we have right now, so we can draw on any turn, and then we can play out Orcish Bowmaster to maybe ping to get another draw if we need to.
No, you're right. You're right. There's no need for us to go sorcery speed for this right now, because we can get, like you're saying, like we can use the lands that prompt life loss to get the draw off turn, and then just do Toxic Deluge on turn to help clear the board. Yeah, let's do that. And also, we kind of want to throw any sort of stink off us. We can swing with Y'shtola and pass. Let's just say that. Oh, go on.
If we swing with Y'shtola, then we can maybe play Ophidian Eye just to get the damage and then get a draw if we really wanted to. But
well, if we do 2 damage to 1 player, unless that damage is also coming back at us, like I don't think we get the draw.
Well, I'm trying to see if we can hit and then trigger the last effect to deal 2 more damage, but I don't think we'd be greedy. I think we just choose to not get the draw and keep Ophidian Eye a secret.
Yeah, this is a really weird deck in that sense. Yeah, no, I wanna keep as much heat off of us until later, because I think, you know, if they're aware that we're trying to do combos with curiosity effects, then yeah, no, you're right. Let's wait. Let's see if people are tapped out. When someone's tapped out, we know the control player can't handle us. We'll go ahead and do the Ancient Tomb, and I'll just use the Signet here. In this instance, it could be the Signet or it could be the Command Tower. It doesn't matter. But we'll flash an Ophidian Eye. I forgot this had flash, dude. We'll attach it to Y'shtola, and
that's 2 life gain.
Right. Do we want to do into Orcish Bowmaster to get the draw?
we're gonna get the draw on end step because we lost 4 life. But on
How do
an
we lose?
opponent's
How do
on
we
a
lose?
next player's turn when they try drawing stuff, will Orcish Bowmaster and draw another card.
How did we lose 4 life?
Oh no, you didn't use the pain lands. Okay, never mind.
Oh no, you want to just over tap to do
Yeah,
that?
over tap because then we have 2 mana remaining exactly for Orcish Bowmaster.
That's interesting. Yeah. Okay. I get that. I get that. Okay, so we're gonna tap City of Brass and float the mana. Sure. All right.
1 mana draw card is not bad.
No, it's good. This is so weird. Okay, so 4 life.
Then on somebody else's turn,
So
when they try brainstorming or something, or they have a couple Ristic triggers, we're just gonna flash in Orcish Bowmaster and ping them 4 times to try to draw another.
yeah, we get a cavern off of that. All right, so that occurred. We can go Bowmasters now. Shoop, flash it in, create an orc army, and ping someone. I mean, it would be amazing if it was a fetch land / shock into Bowmasters. Do we want to give us? We want to be that generous to ourselves? Oh, I'm sorry. Did I do the Ophidian eye effects? I guess I didn't because
We
I
didn't
didn't trigger
draw
it.
off of Ophidian Eye because it
Yeah.
was on the stack when we did the damage.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it wouldn't have triggered, sadly. Okay. Well, actually, didn't Y'shtola trigger at least? Deals 2 damage to each opponent.
Y'shtola triggered, and then Ophidian Eye entered and attached
Sorry,
to Y'shtola.
that's what I'm forgetting. I just want to gain the 2 life. Okay. So we're back up to 36. We'll do the Orcish Bowmaster, bloobity bloop, deal 1 damage to someone. We're not going to get a draw off this. I think we can go take our turn now. Shoop. Force of Will.
I was going to say Orcish Bowmaster, we probably flashing when someone tries drawing, so we probably did get a draw, but we can say that we didn't because I think we're in a good enough state that we don't need to say we got a draw.
Well, Toxic Deluge is our really only playable card, so it's kind of what I was worried about. We need to do something.
The funny thing is, we could just Toxic Deluge for 0 and then draw 3 cards.
We might have to.
I don't hate that. 3 mana draw 3 is not unplayable.
I'm gonna hold off on our land drop then. Let's just go ahead and do Ancient Tomb with the
pain land.
Yeah, one of the pain lands minimally. We'll do the Underground Sea for black, and then we'll do Deluge for 0. All right, so we cast a free spell. We cast a 3-cost spell, excuse me. Nothing dies. We're going to draw 3 cards per opponent.
Yeah, we're 1 card per opponent, but 3 cards in total.
Yeah. Whenever enchanted creature deals damage to an opponent, and each opponent takes 2 damage. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. We have Delny, Wishclaw Talisman, and Witch Enchanter. Are we casting anything else this turn? I mean, Delny would be amazing to place on the battlefield. We don't have a way to cast Force of Will right now, which is painful. What I'm really driving at is, do I play Witch Enchanter Bolt Side just to make sure that we get the free draw, and then we pass, or do we want to try to Delny out?
We can punch with Y'shtola, and then that's 4 damage to an opponent over this turn, and then we draw. So we can just attack with Y'shtola, and we get 2 draws off Delny if we play Delny.
Yeah, no, I'm cool for that. I will go for the Caves of Koilos right now, and we'll go for.
We'll stop ourselves from taking extra damage by just tapping for generic and then using the other sources.
Yeah, we're gonna do generic, arcane, and command tower. And I'm sorry, I lost 2 life there. This is something we actually need to track. 2 life, 3 life for the blue. Okay, and we'll play Delny. We'll punch. We'll go ahead and punch, and then that should be the 4. Let's do our draw effects off of the top ability.
Draw 2! Draw 2! Let's go, Delny OP!
Do we get a blue card? We got a blue card. Cool. So we actually have Dispel active and Force of Will, or Misdirection, technically, active.
Probably going to be Force of Will, let's be honest.
Yeah, it's probably going to be Force of Will, yeah. This is pretty nutty. Okay, so how do we want to... So I'm not going to lie, guys. This is really... This is a little tough to track, because there's a lot of assumptions being made, but this is a pretty decent control list from what I'm seeing so far. There have been turns where we've been ass out because we just didn't start with a Mystic, or we didn't start with a Ristic. We didn't force those plays. We kept a just consistent hand to get our commander out, but we could probably start with slightly better hands. All right, so what do we want to do off turn? Well, let's roll.
From here, let's assume somebody tried killing our commander, so we'll misdirect by getting rid of Dispel.
Yeah.
And then we'll get a trigger off our commander to draw 6.
Oh, damn. You're going to hold on to that Force of Will.
Yeah, because we're likely going to draw a blue spell off of these 6.
I'm with you. Imagine if we don't, though. I'm with you.
That. Like,
no, I'm with you, though.
A third of our deck.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I mean, well, up till this point, we didn't have another blue spell, but like it only took 2 draws, I guess. But they were both blue. It doesn't matter. We're going to exile the Dispel to do the Misdirect. We're going to get rid of one of our opposing threats. And that will give us the bottom ability of her. This is going to let us do 2 damage to each opponent, gain 2 life. I might have forgotten to gain... It doesn't matter. All right.
Yes, Wolfsbane. So value piles like Kinnan... still growing in the format, yeah. So the best fast decks are like Kinnan and Rograk Silas are like the best fast decks, but the current best decks are like Thrasios Timna and all of the grindy decks. So winning fast is no longer the moniker of cEDH, it's winning resiliently.
Wait, will we trigger the bottom ability twice, right?
Yeah, bottom ability triggers twice, which is why I draw 6.
Right. So our first 3, there's no blue cards. Our next 3, there's 1 blue card.
Actually, hold on. Yeah.
Right. The way it reads, and the way her ability reads, we're doing whenever you cast a non-creature spell of 3 or greater, your Stola deals 2 damage to each opponent. So that's 3 opponents taking 2 damage. Excuse me.
Yeah, 3 opponents taking 2 damage twice, and we gain 4 life.
Yeah. And thank you. Okay, so the life loss hasn't been too detrimental for us because we're back up to 39. Will saying Delny OP like we have established this is a fact? Yeah.
No. I'm saying it like we know it's a fact. I'm not saying like Delny OP. I'm saying Delny OP.
Yeah.
We know it. We know it.
This is neglecting any sort of additional damage from Orcish Bowmaster, but I think it's safe to say that, I mean, just having Delny gives us the 4 to draw a card at end of turn. Yeah. So I think that they probably pass at this point. We're good with that. We get DC. Okay. Again, off turn, I'm going to say we need to jam this Force of Will. Because they're probably trying to deal with our board at this point. Maybe something on Ophidian Eye. Like, okay, we'll do Force of Will. I'll exile this. I'll lose a life. And I will go ahead and counter that spell. This triggers Aminatu. It triggers your Stola. We'll draw the 3, first 3. Draw the next 3.
I had to read Ophidian Eye very carefully because I had to make sure that it wasn't enchanted creature gains in air quotes. Because if it did, then we would draw 12 cards off of casting a spell.
Whenever enchanted creature deals damage. Yeah. Delny read? Do you need me to read Delny? What, are we doing something wrong with her? I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah. So Delny says if a creature you control with 2 or less power triggers a ability, it triggers an additional time. Y'shtola says whenever we cast a non-creature spell that costs 3 or greater, deal 2 damage to each opponent. That means that it's doing that ability twice, so it's triggering our Curiosity twice. So instead of drawing 3 cards, we draw 6 cards. Oh, also, our small creatures can't be blocked by big creatures. Other Delny effect, not as relevant, but another Delny effect.
Their cost though, or power 2 or less. So like she's vigilant, she's unblockable. Delny is really good with Y'shtola.
Well, unblockable, it can be chump blocked. It can still be like chump blocked. It just can't be blocked by big things.
I mean, that's amazing. That's still a form of evasion. Jesus, she's good. She's really good in the list. Okay, so Gush, I'm realizing will for our land base is not good. I think we probably need to take Gush out at this point. Because the way that it operates in this deck, I don't think we're ever going to have 2 islands, to be honest with you. It's like it'd be very rare if we have 2 islands. We do have a fetch though, so like we can get a island, but things like Tarnished Citadel are honestly better. All right, okay, so
the funny thing is Gush is pitchable of Force, so if we drew Gush earlier, that's what it would have been used for.
Well, so we will switch out Gush, and then I want to try this one more time, I think, but we're doing well. I want to get to the Infect win though. Okay, so this is just another Force off turn. Did 4 life to everyone, gained 4 life, drew 6 cards.
And then draw 2 on end step.
Yeah, you know what, Will? I actually forgot to draw 2 from our last turn. So
Oh,
the Godless, it would have been Demonic Consultation and Godless Shrine, and now I'm gonna get the additional 1 Haloed Fountain. So there's 1 island, and now we'll draw 2 off of end step again because of Delny. And we got another free spell. We have Submerge. Assuming someone has a forest and we control an island. Funny thing, we
we
don't
don't,
control an
but we
island.
will.
Yeah. So I do think that Submerge is still good. I think Gush is not good. We also have Curiosity. So if Ophidian Eye has to go, it won't be the end of the world. We are holding an offer you can't refuse, and we do have 1 City of Brass open though. So I don't. I wouldn't. Do you think we're gonna have to run out the offer you can't refuse here? We could just take our turn. I think we just take our turn.
You can say that we used an offer you can't refuse if you want, because we're gonna draw enough cards that we're gonna find an interaction. It's really not gonna make a difference.
No, no. It's just a difference of going into our turn with 42 life or 41 life. So I've been tracking our life total because there is a relevancy to it. I've only been tracking what we've been losing via our own effects, but opponents could also be swinging in to us, and it's logical. Normally, when you see a black deck, you would do that. But we do have a 2/4 body, so it's like kind of difficult to get in on her anyways. But yeah, dude, I don't know how much we need to run out from here. Like, we really just need a tutor or to just to top deck the Infect effect.
Yeah.
So
If we
have,
wanted, we could demonic consultation, naming our favorite infect effect, and then just go off from there.
do you, well, I mean, I don't know that we have enough to, we're also holding Necropotence. Okay, so let's take a thorough look at this turn. I want to put an island down. So let's just do Verdant Cats into our Underground Sea. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do.
Do we actually want to find a shock land so that we just need to pay 1 pain mana and draw 2 on end step?
I mean, between the Ancient Tomb, no, you're right. No, 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 you're probably right. That's
If we hold up our mana and we just get the infect card into play, we win. So if we want to try to play slower and more control-esque, that's
I mean,
a
just
good way.
like the rate we've been going at, pretty much. Yeah. I mean, honestly, we could just drop a Tarnished Citadel, but we need to turn Submerge on. All right, let's do Verdant Cats for our shock. What's the I know Underground Sea, but what's the not under
Watery Grave?
Watery Grave. Watery Grave. Okay, we'll shock that in to do 2 damage to ourselves. And let's go ahead and use like what we're suggesting. We'll just do Underground Sea. Sorry, not Underground Sea. Underground River, City of Brass, and then the generic on Caves to give ourselves the double black and the generic. Excuse me. We'll have to do the black. I forgot it was triple black. What I Necropotence. All right. We'll hold from there. I mean, obviously we do have mana for the One Ring as well, but we're like not knee deep in mana right now, so we should probably hold. Is there anything else we would want to cast this turn?
So let's see. Necropotence, that means that we're going to be able to draw a ton of... I think we just win here, don't we? So
we're at 39 life. Again, let's just say that we took 5 damage from our opponents throughout. Like, we got her down pretty early, and she is a big booty blocker. So I can see us losing life to something like a Crom in the air, at least the once. You usually
we can say that we're at 30 instead if we really want. But
let's
even
just
with
be
that,
yeah. Let's just be as generous as possible to our opponents. Okay.
let's say that we draw 25 into Necropotence here. I think we just win.
I mean, let's try that. We're at 61 cards, right? So the first thing that would resolve, I guess we could stack it, right? Wouldn't we do her at the beginning of each end step? Wouldn't we do the draw 2 first and then go into it?
Yeah. So we'll draw 2 and then we'll draw 25.
The discard to hand size happens before or after?
It's
like where is it in the
after end
cleanup?
step. We can play with this hand, and
Okay.
then when we stop playing, that's when we discard.
Did we want to throw on Curiosity as well, or do we need the mana?
We don't need the so let's see. I don't think we need the draws of the thing because I'm pretty sure we're just about to get there. Because all we need to do is find the instant speed Phyrexian spell, which we can tutor for with a demonic consultation.
If we miss it.
Yeah, and we also can do straight up what's it called Born Upon Wind and one of the auras.
Right, so anything we're missing, we're probably going to save the DC for that. We could also, if like we just pull Thassa's Oracle, and we could do Born Upon a Wind Thassa's Oracle, right? Or are we close to it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Too generic though. Okay, let's see what we rip. We'll go 25 into this. Let's take our 2 Delny draw, Delny Y'shtola draw. We've got a Vamp Tutor and a Razorgrass Ambush. We could technically rip the Vamp too, just to ensure we get what we need.
Yeah. Well, we get Vamp Tutor on the first trigger, then with the second trigger on the stack, we cast Vamp Tutor, finding the instant, and then we draw the second Y'shtola trigger, so we don't draw Razorgrass.
Yeah, let's put that back in the deck.
By the way, we exiled the top 25, so we're not actually drawing, but we're shortcutting it.
Yeah. But we will draw this next card. What do we want to vamp first? Just Born?
No, we're gonna vamp for the instant Infect.
Oh, Tainted Strike. Tainted Strike. Okay, so Tainted Strike, shuffle.
We're going for the Infect win, Patrick.
Tainted Strike.
We're trying.
We draw the Tainted Strike. I'm going to leave it off to the side. We can take a closer look at it in a second.
Well, then we get the second draw from the Delny, and then we draw that. We draw Tainted Strike.
Yeah, so I have Tainted Strike in hand now. I'm just going to put these into hand just to expedite it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Will Esper Infect. Yeah, Drax, we're doing it. Can we get the win with this hand? We
need to cast 3 things.
Yeah. Oh my god, wait, the double trigger. Holy shit. Yeah, I think we get there.
So we are going to cast the Strike first. Then we can cast the Submerge. In response to Submerge, we can cast Disruption Shoal, getting rid of Gush, targeting Submerge. In response to that, we just need to cast one more thing.
Yeah, we'll take a gander at it. So if you guys don't know what Tainted Strike is, it's just +1/+0 and gains Infect until end of turn. That's the relevant portion. We're going to try to win off of Infect damage here. And Will's saying 3 cast because Delny is doubling the amount of damage she's doing. So we actually don't need what would typically be 5 cast here. Okay, so we do that. Cool. We're going to put what on the stack? What do you want to do?
So we're going to cast Submerge. I'm just targeting targeting doesn't matter. Then we're going to Disruption Shoal, getting rid of our Gush, targeting Submerge. And then we're going to get anything else. Any other spell that we can cast with our 3 remaining.
Yeah, I'm just putting the free spells on the stack. We've got so many, dude. Hold on. Where did it go? Disrupting Shoal. It's right there. Okay. Got Mindbreak Trap. And we have... where's that Gush we want to get rid of?
Gush is like super far on the left.
Yeah. And we do have mana open with a command tower as well. So like if we wanted to cast a Flusterstorm or anything. And we have Mental Misstep as a free spell. Yeah, dude,
we just need one more thing that we can play at instant speed right now, and if we can't do that, then we can at least we can do Despair, Force of Despair.
So
on our opponent's upkeep.
Antonio is saying, so far as sequencing is concerned, wouldn't it be better to add the pile of free spells to the stack and then do Tainted Strike to resolve? The answer is yes and no. Like I think that what you're suggesting though makes sense because you want to make sure that you resolve the Tainted Strike. Like that's the important thing. So like the soup of free spells is just important to get the ball rolling on the Infect, but you want to lead with the Infect last.
I think it's better to do the Infect first because you can keep up mana to
interact
with the Infect first, and then you'll know what you can play with afterwards. Whereas if you do all the spells first and Infect and you don't leave mana up for interaction, they counterspell the Infect and then you whiff off of that. Also, we are drawing 12 cards because even though we aren't making our opponents lose life, Infect is still damage. It's just damage through poison counters, and Curiosity just cares that we did damage. So we'll draw 12 cards off of casting these cards.
Right. Okay, so we're doing so with that, armed with that knowledge. I mean, do we want to just pop off a few of these free spells and draw more cards to see if we can't get more free spells? But I mean,
that's what we're doing. We're we're doing Submerge, we'll get the trigger, we'll draw 6 cards, then we'll do Disruption Shoal, getting rid of Gush, getting 6 more cards, and if we hit one more free spell, game.
No, this is enough though. This is actually enough. We just need 3. We did Tainted Strike, right?
Well, but Tainted Strike didn't trigger it, so we just need. We have a
no,
Shoal
no,
and
yeah,
we have
no,
Submerge.
yeah, I'm with you.
So what's the third?
We have a Mind Break Trap, and
It's not free unless people cast enough.
3 or more spells this turn. An opponent. Never mind. Yeah. Whoops. I thought it was just a player. The third is probably just going to be like a Chain of Vapor, and we target our own Chain of Vapor or something. Let's see.
But
let's
Chain of Vapor isn't free.
No. No, you're right.
We have Force of Despair in hand, so we can pass turn and win on somebody's upkeep with counter spells to protect us. But I want to see if we can do it on our end step.
No, I want to do it on our end step. Force of Despair is not off turn. We just need to exile a black card.
It's on the opponent's turn. You can cast it for free.
Oh God.
It's one of those forces. It's the new forces.
I love the art. I can't read the card.
It is during an opponent's turn, you may exile black card rather than pay this card's cost. Destroy all creatures that enter the battlefield this turn. It's an instant.
We are trying to win on end step here, so let's just do that. Okay, so we're gonna do the Submerge, put target creature on top of its owner's deck.
We're gonna counter our own Submerge, and then we're gonna draw 12.
We'll counter it with the Shoal. What do we need to discard to?
Gush. That's something that costs 5.
I'm sorry, no, we did that already. Gush. Force. So Disrupting Shoal, we're gonna cast with the Gush, and then we're gonna draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I will gain 2 4 life. 2 4 life.
8 life. It's a 4 life per.
Right. 2 4 life. 2 4 life. Sorry. Yeah. So we're back up to 11. All right. What else did we get?
Deadly Rollick. There we go. Game.
Yeah. I guess we just cast Deadly Rollick. I put the Swan Song over there in case we needed it. Mental Misstep as well can go towards like any sort of interaction. If there's enough spells, the Mind Break Trap can go over there as well, and that also triggers us. There's also a Flusterstorm, but we just don't have the mana for Flusterstorm. And we're not going to cast anything to let us go like Born Upon a Wind or anything to let us play the Lotus Petal, Mox Diamond, any of this stuff. All right, yeah, so we just cast Deadly Rollick. I think we're good with that. And Snuff Out. Sorry, we can go Snuff Out. And we actually have the life to cast. Nice. Yeah, we have the life to cast Snuff Out now, so we're good with that. Very much so. Yeah, we only have 22 cards in deck. So like there was a probability that we wouldn't hit critical mass, but we did. And over so. Delny really helped us get there. Without the Delny, would we have been able to do that?
Let's see. So that would have been Snuff Out.
Will
if looking at with the draw, yeah, we would have just been able to get there because we would have had to have used a Force of Despair on an opponent's turn to do it, but we could have gotten there.
I want to say that we should check out Gush for the Roaming Throne. I actually do like that redundancy now. Like I do think that like having Delny was really clutch.
Oh, someone pointed out the Tainted Strike gave +1/+0, and Delny only works on power 2 or less, so that wouldn't have worked.
Oh, that's true.
We were trying to go for the flashy Infect window. We could have won with just grinding it out and doing dumb control things. I think Necro was probably not the correct play, but because it probably would have been better to just find Thorkel and do Thorkel things, but we wanted to show what the deck does.
You're absolutely right, though. Thank you for pointing that out. Let's run it.
Let's add Roaming Throne, remove Gush.
Yeah, well, we're going to remove Gush anyways, so we could talk about what we would prefer in that slot, but I do think that Roaming Throne is pretty good. Like, and it's less, Roaming Throne would have worked. Let's just put it that way. Right? Choose creature type.
Can I just say Flare of Cultivation is underrated? I rebuilt a Marin deck, and Flare of Cultivation got my Hulk combo line going. Yeah, Flare of Cultivation is so good, because even if you want to look at it as like, oh, I'm going to play a Dork, I'm going to immediately sack the Dork and get Flare of Cultivation, you transformed Flare of Cultivation into a land, and removed one of your Dorks for a more reliable Dork, which is honestly good. Like, it's more resilient. You're not going to lose it to board wipes. You're not going to lose it to targeted removal or ping effects like Orcish Bowmaster. It's really nice. I like the card.
Is Tainted Strike bad now?
Tainted Strike is still good.
I'm just kidding.
Because we brought up the fact, like, did we still get there with Delny? And yes, the answer was yes.
Or without
But
Delny. With or without Delny.
yeah, did we get there without Delny? The answer was still yes. It was harder, but we could get there.
Yeah.
And then with Delny, it just made it easier.
We're not going to keep this hand. Or probably not going to keep this hand because it's one black resource. One blue resource. No, we're not going to keep that. Okay, well, we've got Ancient Tomb into Signet. If we're going to have to pitch a card, like if we're going to do this proper, I'll put this at the bottom of my deck. Library bottom. Normally we just try to see, when we play tester or goldfish decks here on the channel, we just like to see like what a decent opening hand should look like, what you should be mulliganing for. I am going to, unlike normal streams, track life and track cards because that's relevant for our commander here. All right, so I do think we'll keep this though. There's a lot of mana to go into the late game, and we're hoping to draw cards that will get us triggers, but Roaming Throne is very achievable here, and we have the Tainted Strike in hand, so that's actually kind of nasty. We don't really need it till we're actually storming off, but that's okay. All right, let's go for this. We'll draw for turn.
Fun fact, with Roaming Throne, we do name Warlock, not Cat, because we have one other Warlock, Witch Enchanter.
We don't have any other cats?
We don't have another cat.
No Displacer
Just
Kitten?
the Warlock.
Would Displacer Kitten be good?
No.
Let's go Arcane Signet and hold our Tainted Strike.
Yeah.
Sure.
I will say we probably play Roaming Throne before we play Y'shtola, because we can play Roaming Throne and then attack on the turn we get Y'shtola out to get the
It is a 4/4. Yeah, it is a 4/4 with Ward 2, which is pretty tight. We could also hold the opposition agent. There is like a valid reason to do that. I want to hold our fetch for a potential ping and shock. Yeah. But we could put down Adakar Waste. I think here is probably the better choice.
And we just take 2 off the tomb and get out our doubler.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot to take 2 off earlier. So we're down to 36. Let's put Roaming Throne down. We will say Warlock.
We're going to play Chris Hansen. Oh, you take a seat. Right there.
That seems good to me. Pass turn?
Yep.
Okay. So there's 2 ways to put Y'shtola down now. Right? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. We can do the...
Wait, we literally could not have played Y'shtola last turn if we wanted to, because we used Ancient Tomb.
No, but now we have Ancient Tomb and a Talisman.
Oh yeah, I didn't see the Talisman until just now. Yeah.
Yeah, and she doesn't need to be on the battlefield to track the 4 life loss, so we'll get the free draw off of that anyways. Well, the 2 free draws. Holy shit, this is a good turn. Okay, let's just start with Marsh Flats. Which land do you want, Will?
I would say hold the shocks. Let's go for an OG duel so that we can save the shocks for later.
Well, I mean, we got 1 there, 2 off of the tomb, and then 1 off the tally. Like we're gonna get. Yeah. Let's get a true duel. So I think blue and black are
black.
Yeah. Highest color. So we're gonna do Underground
Just
Sea.
Looking at our hand, yeah, it's blue black.
I'll cast the tally, lose 2 life. And thank you, Tim, again for pointing out the Tainted Strike from last round. Let's make sure that we don't forget that this round. It shouldn't be an issue with Roaming Throne. So, and again, also, gang, for recommending the Roaming Throne, I know that I really didn't think we needed the redundancy, but after how that last game went, I feel like the redundancy is quite good here. What do you guys think about Jumbo Cactar?
Fun card. There's one commander at the very least that is auto-including it because it's a 2-card combo. It's Gerard. He's the Golgari fling commander, but he flings it at everybody, not just one person. So it's an OTK with Gerard. Silvala finds it funny. There's a couple other decks that can potentially use it, but it's mostly going to be like Silvala and Gerard use it well, and there's some other commanders I'm missing, but it's a fun card. I don't think it's going to be like crazy or see a ton of play, but people like it.
So no matter what, we don't need to swing with the Roaming Throne, but I will. We lost 4 life and an opponent lost 4 life if they didn't block. So we're going to go ahead and take 2 draw off of Y'shtola here. We get a Sink into Stupor and a Scalding Tarn. Okay. Okay. Next turn.
Yep, next turn.
I mean, we could just cast Sink into Stupor. That's really the best thing we can do. I might just put down the Scrubland, because I don't think we need to take... We have a way to do 4 damage to ourselves on board right now. Return target spell to its owner's hand. We're going to have to wait on that is the only issue. That's fine, though. I think this is a pass and, like, hold
yeah,
cards.
We hit with Roaming Throne to draw 2 cards, and then we pass from there. We just... I'll just keep up the fetch.
Yeah, no. We'll do. Oh, you want to keep up the fetch just to ensure we get another draw potential.
Yeah, because we're gonna get 2 on our turn, then we're gonna fetch, and then get 2 on somebody else's turn. Then we're going to pay mana, which is probably going to get us the other one, or at least Sink into Stupor will get us the other one. So we'll get 3 triggers going through these turns.
We'll swing with both, and assuming that we get in with Roaming Throne, we'll draw 2. Okay. Orcish Bowmaster is another card we can play. The only thing that triggers Y'shtola, though, will be the Sink into Stupor. So I do kind of want to leverage this off turn.
Yeah. So we just get the 2, then we pass turn because we can.
Right.
Actually, do we go for Necro? Just
no,
play Necro.
Well, we drew that. At end step.
Yeah, you're correct.
That's okay, though. We will go for Necro next turn, and it'll be a much cleaner Necro at that. We didn't do anything to gain life, but we will now. Let's just do Sink into Stupor. We're going to turn a spell or non-land permanent to its owner's hand. I don't know. What do you want to say we're even targeting? It's less relevant for us. We sort of just want the trigger, but
well, I think first we probably say that we fetched for a shock, and then
sure.
Played Orcish Bowmaster, and then we drew 2 cards on someone's turn first. And then Sink into Stupor on the next turn. Someone tried to remove our commander. We bounced that. We bounced the spell that tried to remove our commander.
Sure. Wait, so we Watery Grave, 3 life lost. And now you're saying you want to Orcish Bowmaster?
Yeah, just with the fetch that we just got, and because we need to do 1 pain to get to 4 life lost.
Yeah, I mean, technically... And this is maybe a little overkill. I think there's a way to sequence this where we can save the Ancient Tomb for something else, like the opposition.
I don't think we Ancient Tomb. I think that we tapped.
I thought you said you wanted to do Ancient Tomb. Sorry.
No, not just any pain source.
Yeah, let's just do the usually start with your artifacts, by the way, in case you're wondering.
Yeah, Ancient Tomb doesn't pay for Orcish Bowmaster. We need
No, I thought you were trying to use the generic off Ancient Tomb to go into Sink the Stupor the same turn.
No. It's a separate turns. Turn 1, we're just going to say that we cracked to get end step draw. Then turn 2, we're going to say that we Sink into Stupor to do something.
For me, I was going to do Sink into Stupor and then Orcish Bowmaster. This is all fictional, okay? So like we're operating just to hamper someone with Orcish Bowmaster, make the army.
Really quick, actually, spicy idea, Patrick. We don't use a talisman to pay for Orcish Bowmaster. We're going to say that we use 2 sources that don't hurt us. Then Orcish Bowmaster ETB ping ourself. That's 4, and then we get our draws. Next turn we have 4 damage and pain sources.
Oh.
If we do it that way, we actually get more draws.
Sure. We'll use the Underground Sea then. God, that's so stupid. We're going to ping ourselves. Well, so that would amount to 28 life.
Yeah, Underground Sea and Arcane Signet, I guess.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
And if we wanted, because we did it that way...
No. We did the fetch land into the Watery Grave. We'll use the Watery Grave. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Same difference.
Two sources. That's the only thing.
Yeah. Okay, so did we net the draw?
We also get to ping something else because double triggers from Roaming Throne.
He's not a warlock, though.
Oh, you're right. Sorry, I'm thinking Delny. I was like, it works the exact same as Delny. You're right. I'm crazy.
That's okay, though. What we will do, though, is get the 2 draw at the end of that turn from our... There's a lot to juggle with this deck. I hope you guys can appreciate the juggling.
Now we either Sink into Stupor or Electrostatic Specimen to redirect something that tried to kill our commander.
Well, that's the thing. It is a creature, and she only triggers off non-creature spells of 3 or more.
Yes, but we are fine with not getting the trigger just because we can pain ourselves enough to...
I kind of want to keep the Specimen for Force of Will. Like I want to leverage the bottom effect more than I want to
Yeah,
do
we can say that we stupor then.
Yeah, because
Same.
I kind of want the life gain if we're trying to go into the potence.
Yeah.
So let's just
So
do stupor
we're gonna
here.
pay pay with it using talisman, ancient tomb, and then any other source.
That
The other pain source. Yeah.
I mean, do we have to? Hold up. If we're gonna do 4 damage here by triggering it twice, I guess we could just go Underground Sea.
Oh yeah, we don't. Yeah, we don't need to do fancy stuff. We don't need to hurt ourselves. Yeah, we can just tap everything but ancient tomb to.
Yeah, I'll take 2. So we're still taking 2 off of that, but we will sink into stupor something. Bleh. We trigger the bottom effect. Everyone takes 2 damage. We gain 2 life. We do that twice.
Yep, we gain 4 and everyone takes 4.
We'll get to draw twice because everyone took 4. And I think that's it. We can just lead into our turn now. Sorry, that was a lot. Okay. We're at 30 life, Will. We have a Massacre in hand. We have 1 land drop outside of Electro Specimen. Can we win the game with what we're looking at? Just what we're looking at.
So let's see. We can do...
The answer is no. Because what we have is we have Force of Will to stop something. We could pitch... It's just this for blue cards. We can pitch a card to do... Or we don't need a pitch for this. Someone needs to have a plan, so we have a swamp. We have a swamp. So we could Massacre. Massacre will kill our board, though.
Actually, no. We do get there. So we have... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, upwards of 9 mana. Oh no, sorry, 8 mana. We don't have a land to pitch to Diamond, so we have 8 mana to play. Oh no, we can. Yeah, we can play the Fell the Mighty as our land for turn and discard Scrub to Diamond. Doesn't matter though, because all we need to do is cast Toxic Deluge to get 8 infect damage off of with the Tainted Strike. Then we can cast Massacre and Force of Will, either something that tried to stop our line, or just hold up Force of Will for someone else doing something on a later turn.
So you want to lead with? Do we need that much ramp? You're just trying to efficiently put these things down. So like you want to like do this as our resource for turn.
Oh, actually, the Tainted Strike is only this turn. So if we do it, we have to go in.
Yeah. This is full commit. Like if we just want to win here, can we win without going Necropotence? I want to ignore this card. Without going Necropotence, like, is this deck effective?
We are 1 instant away from being able to just win at instant speed, because we could use Fell the Mighty as one of our spells that we cast.
Fell the Profane. Yeah,
Fell the Profane. But then we can't use Massacre and we can't use
3, 4, 5, 6,
Taint Pact, or not Taint Pact, Toxic Deluge.
Well, if we, depending on how we sequence this, we might just get like another land to play Mox Diamond out, so we can like hold Fell the Profane.
Well, it's so we have 8. Well, we have 8 mana without Fell the Profane.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 with Scrubland.
Yeah, because it's 6. Oh no, it's 7. If we do, if
God,
we
imagine your opponent thinking this hard as they look at their hand, and you're like, oh shit, am I supposed to die here?
Without protection, we do have it with actually we win as long as they don't have a way to specifically counter. Oh wait, no. I'm being dumb. We win with protection. So we have 7 mana with keeping Fell the Profane in hand. We don't need to keep Fell the Profane in hand. But I'm gonna play this out with 7 mana. We play Tainted Strike. We play Toxic Deluge, X equals 0, doesn't matter. People will say, okay, take the damage. Then we go, okay, Massacre, everybody takes the damage. Force of Will, so still only paying 4 mana. Force of Will,
the Massacre.
Everybody dies, somebody tries to interact, Electrostatic Specimen protecting our commander. Oh no, we need an Electrostatic Specimen to pitch to protect our commander.
Well, we're not counting what we're drawing here. For anything, right? But Tainted Strike doesn't net us a draw, but the Toxic Deluge would net us a draw. So there is a potential draw into a separate blue spell. So why don't we just sequence this out?
Well, draw off of what? Because it would be, and we draw on our end step, but we need to cast a instant.
No. 3 or we'll draw off Toxic Deluge when we cast Toxic Deluge.
No, we don't.
Yeah, whenever you cast a non-creature spell with a mana value of 3 or greater,
deal damage.
Oh, we don't have Curiosity.
Yeah.
God. If
we had Curiosity, this game would be over. Without question.
Yeah, no, there's not a clean way to do it then.
There is clean ways, it's just that we don't have protection. The best way to do it is probably just say
Necropotence.
throw out Necro, pay all of the life, and go for it, because then we
Yeah.
have Force of Will and we have Force of Will protection, and we play all the things.
All right. Well, not all the things outside of our sorcery speed spells. So
Well, if we hit Born Upon a Wind, then we could do the sorcery speed stuff.
here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put down. Let's just make it easy. I just wanted to see if we could do it without Necropotence, people. But we will play.
We can do it without Necropotence. It's just risky.
It's not clean, because like the first thing that would foul us up is someone trying to counter Tainted Strike as we cast it, and then like we would have to use Force of Will, so like that would fuck us up.
Yeah.
But let's just do Fellmire, excuse me, as our land per turn. We'll go for a Mox Diamond, pitching the scrub land, and then I think we just go immediately into Necropotence and try to go for game. Right? So we'll do this again. Again, we would do it with Fellmire. I'm sorry, we should lose life for that, right? So pay 3 life. Shoop. That's kind of painful. We'll do Arcane Signet so we don't lose too much more life, and then we'll do the Watery Grave here. Okay, so now we have 1 non-pain land in a Mox Diamond. All right, well, we're at 27 life. How much do you want to... Oh, I'm sorry. We should actually do our ability first.
So we'll go up... We can say someone tried getting rid of Necropotence, so we had to Force Will, so we can say we're up 3 more life.
Yeah. Minus the... minus the 1. Okay.
So and if we need more life for Necropotence, we can just straight up cast Massacre for the sake of gaining 4 more life.
I think we're good. With 34 life, I feel like we're good.
Well, I feel like we can do it just to be safe, because we are kind of going all or nothing, and we can't cast Massacre. If we hit Born Upon a Wind, yeah, let's save it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if we fail, at least we have a Bowmaster, but like, is the I don't know. Like, Bowmaster's relatively good, but he's not going to be winning the game.
My rule for Xur is usually keep 5 life, but considering the fact that we have so many pain sources in play, I would say keep 7 life.
Yeah.
Because that way it makes it so that we can tap all of our mana for colors and then play Vampiric Tutor.
I think we go down by 27 then. Right? Okay. So yeah, let's go down by 27, and then we're gonna do the same thing we did last time. Again, these would go in exile, and then they would be put into your hands.
Actually, let's get the 27 first. 2 draw triggers on the stack, so that if we hit Mystical Tutor or Vampiric Tutor, we can top deck Tutor, then draw off of our commander.
All right, so 27 are gonna go exiled. Oh shit, we do need to move these then.
27 to hand. Do 27 to hand.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
it's better
6,
to do
7,
Necropotence
8, 9, 10,
first and then do our commander second, so that we can draw top deck tutors, or draw after casting top deck tutors.
Right, because we could stack any of these, the delayed trigger or this trigger, however we like. Excuse me. On that note, Will, I see 1 Mystical Tutor.
Yep. So we could Mystical Tutor, and we can either find...
Is there a tandem lookout too?
Yeah, there's a tandem lookout. Mystical Tutor could get Born Upon a Wind, and then we can do tandem lookout. We can also just do... Yeah, Mystical Tutor just finding Born Upon a Wind gets us there with the sorceries we have. We have...
a Fierce Guardianship, which is kind of clutch. I just want to put
Fierce Guardianship and Shoal. And we can just cast a 3-mana instant, so we don't even need Born Upon a Wind. We could just straight up go for it.
I kind of
instant.
Yeah, for our next draw, I kind of just want like another form of interaction, just like another free counterspell. To be honest, that's up there.
Yeah,
but I think that's it for it, though, right? Fierce Guardianship, Force of Will we just used. We can't use the other Force of Negation. Mindbreak Trap is dead unless someone's done something else. The redirect, I guess we can get a redirect. We can get misdirection if we just want to add to the pile.
Yeah, we could get, with Mystical Tutor, we could get Born Upon a Wind. We could get pretty much any instant speed interaction spell. If we do Born Upon a Wind, we could go for Curiosity Lines. Like, we get there. We get there.
I'm gonna tap the... Well, I wanna actually take us there though. So I'll tap this for 1, and I'll go Mystical Tutor. Let's just search for, what do you feel better? Like, would you really want Born Upon a Wind? What are you trying to play
Let's
out here?
let's say misdirect, because what we can do is we can actually wait, we don't have okay, so to start off the instant line, we have to cast Force of Despair as our starting thing. That is our 1/3 cost instant in hand.
Is Force of Despair instant? Oh my god, it
Yeah.
is. Okay.
Well, I mean, it would kind of invalidate the whole you may cast this by exile.
Let me just look at. No, you're right. You're right. But are we trying? Are we trying to? We're trying to wait. Well, but we can't cast it for free though. Do we have the mana for that? Oh, it's two generic. Two generic. One. No, one generic. Double black. No, 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 no. We have Underground Sea, Talisman of Dominance, and Balon's Tomb, Ancient Tomb. Yeah, we're not going to get there that way. And we don't have a reason for the Born Upon a Wind. We just have one free resource. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That might be the cleanest way to go about it then. But I mean, like, isn't it the same difference as finding? Well, that's not true. That's not true. Is there a? Are we able to hold up the dispel for any potential counter to our tainted strike? Or did we? Sure. So we'll go misdirection. Misdirection to the top. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. We draw that, and then we draw another card off of our leader's ability. Is he frozen? Oh, just restart your thing. Thanks, guys. How is he? He's still frozen on my end. Here it will. Oh, that's interesting. When did he get frozen for you guys? What's the last thing you heard from Will? Sorry, we're no, you're not back yet. There's no way. Yeah. There's no way to cleanly. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. All right, so Will is going to join you guys in the chat. There's no clean way for me to bring him back on here, sadly. Am I crazy? Yeah, yeah. Okay, so here's functionally what we're going to do. We're going to try to win off turn, which does mean we need to discard down to 7, which, Will, you can still talk with me, by the way, over on Discord. Okay, so I'm going to discard down to 7. Really, basically, we just want to hold our Disrupting Shoal, our Fierce Guardianship, our Misdirection. We're going to hold the Dispel for a blue spell that we could exile with Misdirection and or use. We might want to hold on to one more, honestly. We're also going to hold Despair. Despair doesn't need to pitch a black card, right? You may exile a black card? No. All right, so we're kind of running out of hand size here. One, two, three, four, five, six. Yeah. No, it's not good. I mean, it's not. We have dismember. It's not a free instant, but it does get us a trigger for one generic. Is Snuff Out in the hand? Oh, you would rather that than misdirect. Yeah. Right. No, you're good. Welcome to chat, Will. Yeah, sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're going to keep Despair, Dismember, Dispel, Disrupting Shoal, Fierce Guardianship, Snuff Out, and Distainted Pact. Distainted Strike. Everything in my hand is gone. It's just what you see on the board. Right now we have a Mox Diamond, an Underground Sea, an Ancient Tomb, and that's it for mana. It's not just Will. Seems your screen is frozen as also. I don't think my screen is frozen. Will, can you still hear me? Oh, wow, that screen's frozen. All right, guys, that just might be something with OBS. Give me 1 second. I like how Will's just up there. Right. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so I don't know what's going on, but there might be something happening with our program that we're streaming with, but that's good news. We're wrapping up here anyways. So from what you guys can see, we have a way to Tainted Strike is the first thing we're going to do. With Tainted Strike, we're going to use, it doesn't really matter, but let's go ahead and use our Underground Sea to Tainted Strike our Y'shtola. Okay, so now with her being infected, remember we get double the strike on, I don't know why Into the Flood Mo's up there. We get double the strike on the last ability. So we're going to start with one of our free spells. We're going to use the Despair removal. Pitch a black card, destroy all creatures that enter the battlefield this turn. That doesn't quite matter. We just want to get it on the stack. So we're going to pitch that. We can, great, get those triggers, let them resolve. Which is going to let us draw here. Or no, I keep thinking that. We're going to let those resolve. We don't have a curiosity. It's fine. We're going to cast a Snuff Out, and we're going to cast a Shoal. Why do we have Shoal? It's not going to pitch anything to stop anything. Yeah, but what are we discarding to... Oh, it would need to be a 3 cost. Whoops. Heuristic Study. Sure. So yeah, we'll cast Snuff Out. We'll lose the 4 life. And then we'll cast a Fierce Guardianship to cancel out the Snuff Out. And then we'll cast a Disrupting Shoal to counter the Fierce Guardianship. Which I think we only need the 3, frankly. Am I wrong? No, we need to counter the Snuff Out with the Disrupting Shoal and then hold the Fierce Guardianship, because with Despair, we only need to trigger this 3 times to win the game. We kind of want to hold the Fierce Guardianship to just have interaction. Well, sorry for the technical difficulties there, gang. This was the longer stream. I hope you see the play lines. There's a lot to juggle with this deck. When you have a doubler, the magic number so far as like spell count and infecting is 3 cast. So provided you get there with 3 cast, you're good. 3 cast of 3 or more though. So you just need to consider all... No, well, you can text that. But yeah, casting spells on the stack acts as interaction. Is that what you're saying, Will? Okay. I like that he's just smiling at you, by the way. At any rate, that's Y'shtola. I think we kind of took her where we wanted her to go. when I switch frames, oh, it's not going to show you her anymore. That's so obnoxious. But no, she's great. I really like this commander. So far as like cEDH viability is concerned, I definitely think she's there. It's quite good. It's a lot to juggle though, and there's a lot to consider. I think that Roaming Throne and Delny were in both games, and they're kind of crucial to help us plow into the cards we need, because the net draw one is just not enough. And we're like, if we're able to successfully do that each turn, we're seeing like 2 cards. I see the play lines. It seems more complicated than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, really, to get the ball rolling on her last triggered effect, it is a little bit more involved than I should have liked, especially because, you know, we've roughly 20 cards that we're ripping for free or next to free, and that's what, 1/5 of our deck. There's enough there, but you'll, I think, all too frequently have not enough provided you're just using Y'shtola by herself, right? I think that the games were propelled forward based off the simple fact that we had Roaming Throne and Delny, and they both concluded, though, with a hiccup off of Necropotence, right? Because the first win we accomplished, technically we wouldn't have gotten as much draw without the Delny, but I think we got there with the Necropotence by itself. In the second game, like, we concluded with Necropotence because we couldn't get there with just the hand, and we didn't see any sort of like raw effect that would help us draw, like a Curiosity, right? We did pull into the Lookout later, or any sort of tutor to help us get there. So really, like, our tutors are going to probably pull into the Curiosity effects, which will let us draw. And then we don't need to prioritize the Delny or the Roaming Throne, but I think those things or the Curiosities are helpful. Because the draw 2 off of the first triggered effect is kind of really good to help just pad our hand out. I think due to how complicated she is, she maybe be bracket 4 type that can push into bracket 5 cEDH. Yeah, and to be honest with you guys, like, this is so abstract from what we typically do that it's a lot to juggle and pick up the play, like, proper play patterns with off the bat. I still think that she is bracket 5. I think it's going to require a good bit of knowledge to sequence, like, get the right play lines down to where she is effectively winning the game through Infect. And, you know, there are plenty of games, or plenty of opportunities to just win through Thassa's Oracle, Demonic Consultation as well, or Tainted Pact. Right, so, like, you could force that as well. So, like, if you just want to use her as, like, a slower control deck that nets draw and is effective at netting draw, like, as we saw, Sans Necropotence, and you just want to win with Thassa's Oracle DC, like, you could just jam that too, and it's a lot less complicated. But we were trying to push the Infect Storm because that's what the goal was. I hate that it froze on you guys, but we'll I'll leave you the list to play with. Definitely tell me where you think you could take it. But that's Y'shtola. Well, I'll pass on any thoughts. No, I'll tell them what you say. Yeah. So Will is basically saying he thinks that it fits pretty neatly into bracket 5 because there's a clear win and a clear game plan for the deck. You know, and I agree with that. I do think that just because, you know, we couldn't take it there easily today, it doesn't mean this is the most discussion we've had over play lines, frankly, with a play test. But they are there. It's just once we adopt the mindset of how her last ability triggers and, like, leveraging those results to leveraging and sequencing plays to get those Infect results, you'll be much better. But it's just a lot to juggle. Giggling Skitter Spike is an alternative or backup commander for Infect. When Skitter Spike attacks, blocks, or becomes the target of a spell, it deals damage equal to its power to each opponent. That's actually kind of a cheeky alternative for your glistening oil or your Infect effects. This does require that you target it though, and I don't know how many targeted things we have off the stack. Do you know what I mean? Like, most of what you saw was like mass board wipe or counter spells, right? So yes, you could technically add Giggling Skitter Spike as an alternative, but yeah, yeah, it would double trigger off Delny too, and still work through a Tainted Strike. So that is true, Steve. I actually really like that as a suggestion. Oh yeah, that's true. Right. So, well, I mean, you're probably not going to go for Monstrosity, but if you did go for Monstrosity, it would be too chunky. But yeah, yeah, I do think our card count, there might not be enough of single targeting or just targeting in general to hit the Skitter Spike. But I think it's a potential include for sure. All right, guys, that's it for this one. I enjoyed it. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Again, sorry for the technical difficulties. I would have to go. OBS is kind of a bitch. We need to find a separate software so it's easier for you guys to follow these, or easier for me to work with you guys on these. But I like the deck a lot. I think I want to keep tweaking it because it's a good deck. It's just there's a lot to juggle. Let me know what you guys think about the list. If there's any changes you would make, any sort of change in direction at all, and or cards you would like to see incorporated. And obviously you can take this list and do with it what you will. But that's it for the poll. It seems like Happy Cat is what we get to end on. All right, see you guys. Will says bye. Yeah, Will says bye. Trust me. Yeah, it's okay. Oh.